Does anybody remember what happened last week?
Last week?
Hell to the no.
Last time. You know what I mean, Connor. Don't fucking be obtuse.
No,
Hey.
I wanted to make sure. I haven't been near my computer.
Hey,
All I know
hey,
you guys
hey.
did.
I
Alright,
purchased
I'll
upgrades for the ship.
Yeah,
You did.
Yeah. We got to the Capitol. Klaus is like, look at my twink boyfriend. Look at his dumb gay bar. There are a bunch of ladies with bite marks, and he was like, well, yeah, you ate you, my mom and dad. That's Klaus summed up for you.
All right,
I did a bunch of stuff that I can't.
pretty fair,
I
actually.
can't. Yeah, I can't say what happened with me. Wink. Me and Ito hung out with a dragon, and he was like, hey, look at these crazy rich people. And we met the Holy Emperor, and she's a bitch. And she's like banging a Dragonborn who was like, hey, I'm looking for this chick, which is Connor's other
how much
character.
was that bounty on Zara?
10,000 gold pieces.
10,000?
A lot of money.
If it isn't, I'm
Connor's like,
inflating.
time to turn in my own character. for
Was that
10,000
dead
free gold.
or alive?
Yeah. Yeah, other than like airship upgrades, I honestly don't think too much else happened because
Yeah,
we did a lot of stuff in the beginning.
Zara and Klaus.
Oh yeah, they banged a
explored
bunch
the
of people.
underground. We had an orgy in a prostitution ring and then
Yeah.
found connections to not the Thieves Guild, but like a competitor.
Oh,
Beaver,
and
that's your turn to start.
You met Madam
Sorry,
Murdoch,
pet my
a
cat.
Selexi Goliath Madam Mommy.
I don't think that was her name.
All right, I'm gonna use that weird toy race, and I'm just gonna play Sackboy from Little Big Planet.
Honestly,
just a
you'd have better character development than Cloud.
You know, I could write my own story for this character. I just like the build. Why y'all gotta be so mean?
Max, you put
Because we came to the capital so you could have character development, and now you're ditching that character.
I don't like smoke because didn't have any
Colin
character
was
development.
literally talking at length about how he was excited to go to the capital because he actually had shit for you to do.
I've got Beach Sessions IPA. All right.
it's pretty good.
Indeed, it was a pretty talking heavy session, as there was some fine things that happened. You, after arriving at the capital, were able to go to the inn of Klaus's previous contact slash potential boyfriend slash love interest, named Siegfried, a vampire who has known his family for quite some time. This inn is called A Taste of Pride and Blood. It exists just outside the fighting pits of the capital of Weissenberg. While there, you hung around, you petted a cat, Klaus went and found out that, things aren't going so great for the Thieves Guild or his family within the city. His brother and his father are still locked up within the cells beneath the palace. And it's not quite recovered yet. There are some benefits, however. You do still have allies within the city, Klaus. Specifically, you are able to... one of the longtime allies of your family was this brothel owner named Madam Murdoch, from your notes. A large, very sexy Goliath madam. And while there, you went and you had a nice orgy with her breeding stock.
What the fuck?
Meanwhile, everybody went out, did some things. Aruna got a fancy new earpiece, an earring that is capable of casting sending, much like the rest of yours. Just whoever went and bought it, take off 150 gold pieces, or Aruna take off 150 gold pieces since it is for you.
I'll be real. I don't think I have 150 gold pieces.
Well, you should probably do some work that pays money. You met Gen, who was happy to run into you, having been looking for you for a while, and in doing so, you ran across a ambassador from the city of Parzula, who was in fact seeking one of her master's, perhaps her master's greatest treasure, a woman named Zara Aldin, an Earth Ganassi of some significant importance, as far as you can tell. What else happened? Airship upgrades, yeah, that sort of
Pretty
thing.
sure. I think at some point Zara and Klaus did drugs or something.
I don't know about that. That's not really
We
important
did,
stuff, though.
we did a lot of shit.
But the point is, at the end of all things, after you've upgraded your airship and, you know, got a nice place to stay, you've met, very briefly, the Holy Emperor, Adelaide von Richten. She was not really a bitch. She was very... I mean, she's young. And... privileged. And impulsive, and... that sort of thing, you know, it is what it is. With the right molding and preparations, she could one day be something fairly decent, but for now she is just a stupid kid. Living her life, wanting to do hardcore drugs and hardcore sex. Tommy, I can see your bald spot. You should just shave bald like me. I think you missed that.
Yep.
Did you hear that, Tommy?
I caught the tail end, so I kind of put 2 and 2 together.
At the end of things, you kind of split up and decided to seek out a couple of things within the city. Aruna, heading towards the library to do research on the Green Lady, I believe, was your topic of choice. Anything more specific than that, or other beyond that?
Feywild stuff, Baba Yaga, Green Lady.
Yeah.
Moonborn stuff, Gloom Sacrament.
Ah, yes, the Sacrament. Meanwhile, I believe, Alec Cool, you said at the end you were going to seek out Gen for some reason to talk to him or do something like that.
We were invited to the court, so I was going to go with him to the court, but I might have... If they had already done that, then that was... then scratch it.
Reed was also going to go do research on the city of Parzula.
Yep, more research on Parzula. Particularly to see if I can find anything of reference, you know, with spiders or...
And Ito wanted to meet the Emperor, do some Fey research. Anything else?
Again, yeah. I wanted to meet the Emperor on perhaps her own terms.
You might have met her absolutely on her own terms there.
Yeah. But in more of a way that would get her to actually communicate and talk.
Yes.
So,
And
I'm assuming she's holding like a party or some shit. I'll sneak into that.
hopefully await message from your island that the teleportation circle has been repaired. It's the you know, you don't even have to roll an Arcana check or anything to know that's the work that's not going to happen fast. It's going to take a little while for that teleportation circle to be found and go back to up and running, so it might be a couple days.
Sure. Give me 1 second, I gotta open the door.
Klaus, in the meantime, has one very singular purpose, at least placed directly in front of him. His brother and his father, both in jail, held within the dungeons beneath the great palace of the Holy Emperor, now for some, 5 years, 4 years? 3, 4 years, somewhere around there, a few years. It's been a while. Yeah. They probably stink like Lisa's leg armor. There's also another question. One you may not have directly posed, but one that, at the very least, I imagine Klaus would think about. Where is your other brother? Where is Oscar? Because Oswald and Martin are in jail.
I would say moving his family to a different safe house. So he's probably out of town.
Yeah. I mean, that is literally.
Just because I didn't approach him the first time, I was like, yeah, well, I guess he's just not there.
I say that is literally
That was
no.
cool.
That is literally a question that Klaus can ask. Where is Oscar? You might have. I mean, you probably have lost touch with him for years. And as for Zara, I mean, Zara's kind of got people from Parzula about to breathe down her neck, and it's a good time for her to probably maybe take a step back and go into hiding. But who do we want to? Oh yeah, and your number rolled was a 17 for your portent dice that you get from Madame Vestia, being as a part of your crew. And for remembrance, your upgrade was 2 focusing cannons, a ballista, stables, twice the cargo, and you can recruit a new crew member. I don't like this. I don't like this, Tommy. I just looked at chat and I don't like it. The city is alight with beautiful sunlight dappling across the white marble walls that surround it. At this point, you've probably been there the better part of a day. I heard someone say Okay, whatever.
Connor didn't mute.
Whatever, Connor. The sunlight catches his walls and seems to turn them orange as if ablaze with fire as it sets in the sky. And so you're surprised because despite the fact that it's the heart of June, already there's a little bit of a chill in the air. It's surprisingly cold, or going to be a surprising temperate night.
I'm back.
As the sun sets lower and lower in the sky, you find yourselves, most of you actually probably find yourself buried within the darkness of a library. Each turn to your own research, your heads down in the hopes of elucidating the tasks before you. Aruna, you sort of sit within a darkened section of the Grand Library, the Great Arcanium. Books upon books rise 20, 30 feet in the air on old wooden racks. There are rolling ladders all over the place that can move from rack to rack as you peruse over the cracked leather spines before you, pushing the dust away from the titles to read obscure languages, many of which you have no clue how to read, likely. Some abyssal, celestial, some sylvan, some elvish, dwarvish, even a couple that are sort of inscribed with strange symbols you don't even know how to begin to interpret. If you want, you can make an intelligence check on them, but
I'm calling it right now. It's Quaylith.
Hell yeah, I'll make an intelligence check, Colin. I'll try.
I came in late. I had to get coffee. What the hell did I miss?
Me describing the city.
Oh, that's a saving throw. Sorry, I don't know why I did a saving throw.
Me describing the city of Weissenberg in a beautiful midday or sort of setting sun with the white marble walls ablaze of it, or sort of glowing orange with the fading sunlight as they're ablaze with fire.
Gotcha.
20, not natural.
It is written in Quaylith, the language of the Mind Flayers. A language that is not just a matter of reading inscriptions, but also psychically linking and understanding the messages sent to them. Unless a message that you can't read. I imagine you don't speak Quaylith, so it doesn't mean much to you without a comprehend language spell or something along those lines. But you do come across interesting tomes, many of them quite old. Some of them you worry nearly as old as the city of Weissenberg. You find a book that has a charred cover, and you can just barely make out this sort of beautiful cracked and charred leather cover with the inscription of leaves. It is written in Sylvan, and that's what draws you to it initially. And as you pull the cracked leather tome down and open it, it's not nearly as long as you would hope that it would be. It's not super dense, but it has to do with an event within the Feywild called the War of the Cunning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whatever I need to figure out, I did pick up comprehend languages, so I can ritual cast that.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
Yeah, it's a 10, but it's a natural one on a skill check. So yeah.
Oh, are you prepared to use that 17? If everyone wants to.
I don't know that anyone will actually attempt to stop me or care.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop it.
Is that useful to you? Is it for this book specifically, or me trying to find more books?
It's fun. You trying to find more books. This first book, it was pretty obvious, but now that you've got something to go off of called the War of the Cunning, it may offer more insights into what to look for. I don't know if my voice sounds better or worse with me this close to the microphone.
Sounds fine to me.
As long as you move away to breathe in.
Breathe in, breathe out. I'm not going to use the 17 though, because I feel like in case
it does seem rather. It does seem like the type of check that would be rather minor and probably not worth using your one important dice that you get for the session.
Yeah, weird. No, I'll just come back another day if I can't find anything.
All right. Unfortunately, your searches show you nothing else on the Green Lady, and as for the Gloom Sacrament, you see absolutely nothing about that. Likely a topic probably a little bit too obscure outside of the mainstream to just look for in a library. You might have to seek out an expert within the city or something like that, or
Am I presently in the library with Arun?
yes, you're all sort of you, Reed, everyone in the library are all sort of milling about, but I just started with Aruna because she's at the top of the list. But you likely have to seek out an expert, someone who's ancient and well-versed in the ways of magic and that sort of thing.
It's a good thing we know somebody like that.
Alright, Ito, you are also within the library. What are you looking for exactly? You're looking for basically the same thing, yes?
Vaguely. I want to look for, specifically, people of Fey ancestry that are not Sylvan.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me.
And this is as Ito. Sorry, I'm juggling character sheets.
Yeah. You might want, at some point, you know, Zara's kind of got people breathing down her neck, so...
I honestly, Colin, I expected her to get arrested last session, so...
She's got the chance. I've given her a chance to evade, but right now Annette is, and we all know Annette's closing in around her. They're in the very same city as her, looking for her, and her illusions can only go so far because they know what she can do.
You said investigation for the library?
Yes.
That is an 18.
You begin looking around the library, taking a slightly different tack. You're looking for basically, what was it, non-Sylvan descendants of the Feywild and that sort of
People
thing?
who can claim some form of anchor to the Feywild, but are not necessarily Sylvan.
This takes a bit of searching.
I
But
feel like it's
after
probably specific enough that I should find something.
after a couple hours of looking through it, you do find actually something surprisingly very similar to what you're looking for. While it's not necessarily that these people claim that they are descendants of Feywild, it appears to be the account of a researcher and explorer having traveled into the weird sea that notes the surprisingly Fey-like features of the inhabitants that live within on the islands of the weird sea. Many of them being lithe and thin with slightly pointed ears and an affinity for magic.
Okay. How does the library? Can I actually remove books from the library?
You can remove books from the library with the blessing of the head librarian. Usually that has to come from but to actually remove that, the head librarian will do so with permissions from, well, advisors, the Holy Emperor, that sort of thing. High-ranking officials and things like that. So you would need a blessing to remove the book, but you do have access to a blessing pretty easily with Gen, so...
Yeah. That'd probably be my primary focus as far as books go.
Alright. You do get that, and that also gives you a direction to look at. The peoples of the weird sea, that sort of thing. Meanwhile, Reed, looking for specifically information about the holy city of Parzula. Roll an investigation check.
Right. I'm not good at this.
You do have the option
Hey,
to...
I'm pretty good at this.
I said you do have the option to use a 17.
I got a 17.
Alright, you don't even have to replace it. Parzula is... compared to, say, Ito and Aruna's problems, where it's a little bit hard to find information, Parzula is a little bit in the opposite direction. There's lots of information on Parzula. It's the primary trading partner of basically everybody. It's the crossroads of Jinma, Beaz Kun Mahar, Stalreich, and other lands unknown. It's actually hard for you to narrow down information that's useful, because there's so damn much. Obviously, it's largely financial. Records of shipments sent, gold gathered, items procured from that strange and foreign land. But you do arrive at something a little bit more general, and it is useful and enlightening. Parzula, a holy city, a theocracy, probably the wealthiest city that exists in the known world. It sits at the crossroad of trade for the three major kingdoms, and has a long line of archbishops that all come from the same family, currently beneath the Archbishop Usul. It is the richest city, and as such it has taken on the sort of names called the Jeweled Sea and the Diamond Sea. And this is spelled S-E-E. They have an incredible infrastructure, probably the most advanced. Despite the fact that they are a desert city, they have large, basically aqueducts that pull water to the city, allowing it to bloom, and it has basically a large sewer system, plumbing, running water, all of that.
Okay.
They have invested a lot of their wealth into infrastructure. However, the Archbishop Usul reigns with an iron fist.
The aqueducts. Can I learn a little bit more about that? Do you have
Sure.
anything on like construction or the history of the aqueducts there?
Sure. The infrastructure of Parzula, like I said, I'm going off your same investigation check.
Okay.
It has been the task of centuries. All singularly driven by almost like one mind, as if they've had the same plan for hundreds of years. First, aqueducts brought in. Basically, there are 6 aqueducts sort of arranged into different parts of the city that basically bring running water from it. Some of it, or all of it, comes in from the nearby mountain range, because there is a large mountain range that sort of runs down the sort of back end of Beaz Kumlahar, and all these aqueducts run from it, where water is collected at the tops of these mountains and runs down into the desert, all the way for hundreds of miles, down to this sort of jeweled city, where it is used extensively. It has been the aqueducts themselves were completed probably maybe 300 to 400 years ago, and now they are used for everything from running water to a running sewer system, a very advanced sewer system that is arrayed basically in wards, quadrants essentially, where the city is broken up into quadrants of a sewer system. Each quadrant basically pulls water away and it dumps it out into the nearby sea because it is on the coast.
Okay.
But that is where it gets its fresh water, is the aqueducts.
I believe I found our Azure spiderweb.
Shit, that's some high IQ shit.
Well, I don't know how much more I can give it away by calling it the Jeweled Sea, because it is the diocese of a bishop, and a sea is the diocese of a bishop.
All right, can I look for something secondary to my original thing? Tom?
If you're looking for your penis, it's too small to find.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's Colin leaning in closer to the mic to whisper.
Yeah.
That made it truly scathing.
Truly scathing.
All right, tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you want to find.
So I'm looking for something about the pendant that we got. We thought was going to be the heart that has the kind of red dust in it. And then secondary to that, as they're probably along the same things, this gossamer bitch in white that we met once. Like fairy tales, rumors, like weird stories or anything like that. Even something remotely close to her.
So you're looking for what? The pendant? Where'd you get it from?
Yep. Remember we got it off when we opened the... What was it? The sarcophagus that we thought was gonna have the heart of the black, or the King of Black Everfrost in it, and we opened it up, and it was just like a red powder on the inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Like that, and then any information I can on the gossamer chicken white.
Roll an
invest-
Roll
Who
in.
has the key, real quick?
It's me.
Is it you? Okay.
Yeah.
Roll an investigation check. This one is with disadvantage.
It doesn't matter. I got a 1 again.
Onto the woman in white, you find absolutely nothing. There's no records of anything like that. There's very little on the Raiders of Black Everfrost at all. beyond the fact that the Flaming Hussars defend the northern coast against them, but any sort of specifics, it's almost suspiciously absent, as if it has been scrubbed from these records. As for the pendant itself, you find nothing about it. It's valuable. I will say the powder you found in it, the sort of brownish reddish powder, way back when, you were pretty sure it was something like flesh or something had been stored in there and had just dissolved and fallen away, rotted away.
Okay. I know that the Redeemer was doing research, so we probably have that.
That's true.
I'll just be disappointed with my library venture.
I mean, you found out some stuff, specifically the War of the Cunning. Now, Tommy, with Connor not here, how much do you want him to be able to look over your shoulder while you're looking for this stuff?
I feel like he's not necessarily like the face down in a book type, so I'll just relay information like every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like just feed stuff that I'm reading about.
Alright.
It omitting certain things, I suppose.
The War of the Cunning is a short, almost lyrical poem that goes through a war that happened in the Feywild between a Fey enchantress and the Queen of Witches. It was a short and brutal affair that had the Fey enchantress' entire court basically being slaughtered at a moonlit festival beneath the stars.
Is Ito reading over Aruna's shoulder?
I literally actually just talked to Tommy about how much he is letting Ito read over your shoulder, and he said he's letting you read.
Sorry, I did get my phone.
The Fey Enchantress herself, locked in chains, barely managed to escape, her whereabouts unknown. But ever since then, the power of witches and the court of witches was on the rise within the Feywild. But that's the extent of the sort of report on the War of the Cunning. It's, like I said, it's a lyrical poem. It's almost like a fairy tale. You're not sure if things have been embellished or not. Likely they were.
Okay.
Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to Ito. Specifically on how he's planning to meet with the Emperor. The Holy Emperor.
Sure. Honestly, I was planning on trying to hit up the emissary. I don't know what she actually is.
The Parzula Ambassador, or?
Yes. Yeah, the ambassador.
She is indeed an ambassador, bearing the symbols and sigils of the holy city of Parzula, a blue dragonborn who carries herself as slightly better than the rest of the people around her, from what you can tell, and that seems to have a pretty intimate relationship with the Holy Emperor herself. You do know exactly where she's staying. She's on the very same room level as Ito and the rest of the group, at the top level of this beautiful domed sort of tower. She has attendants of kobolds that tend to her every whim, and if you're trying to hit her up, what's your approach? Do you just knock on her door? Do you wait till you happen to run into her if she's leaving, or?
Functioning under the assumption that I'm in the Imperial capital, I would probably doff my armor and just wear like noble, the nicest finery that Dags can find or has since he's not here that Ito would have on his person?
Obviously, Dags was a very prudent valet, and he always had an eye for fine cut clothing. You find yourself in a beautiful green doublet with dark, sort of almost blackish brown leather breeches, fairly fine cut, all threaded with gold, and very nice black boots that rise up nearly to your knees. He always insisted that your boots be shining, like gleamingly shining bright, and the soles be extremely hard, because as far as he was concerned, your footfalls, as a noble, you don't care, you're not trying to be stealthy, you're not trying to hide yourself, you want to announce yourself every time you walk anywhere, so your feet sort of clack and clatter as the hard soles echo off the hard stone floors.
Sick.
I will say it is not particularly a comfortable outfit, however.
No, I wouldn't assume so. I would bring my do I want to bring my flute, or no? I'll bring the. Oh my god! I fucked up my throat. I will bring the lute with me.
Das Loot!
Kept wanting to say the lyre, but I'll bring the lute with me, and I will. Does she have is there an attendant out front, or is it just her doorway?
There is just her doorway right now.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll. What time of day is it?
It is basically very like early evening, late afternoon. The sun has started to. The sun has set essentially, but it's the last vestiges of beautiful orange light that are glittering off the white walls.
So like 6 p.m. give or take.
At this time of year, more like 9, 8 or 9.
Oh, okay. Well then, I'll go ahead and I'll knock on the door.
All right. You arrange yourself to be fashionable and able to present yourself as you lean into the heavy wooden door and give it a... Put on your most noble air as you wait for a couple moments before the door opens. You're a little bit surprised at first to be looking in the doorway to see nothing there, before looking down slightly and seeing blue cobalt. Its cerulean eyes narrowed at you. It wears the colors of Parzula, but this clothing is made of burlap, essentially. It's very rough and poorly made. And it looks up at you and says, "How can I help you this evening?"
Kobolds are like, what, a foot off the ground?
No, they're bigger than that, but...
They're like
A little
halfling size.
Aren't they like 3 or 4 feet?
They're like halfling size. They're like 3 or 4 feet.
There's
I thought they were smaller.
There's
than
somewhere
that.
between
No.
2 to 4 feet. This one, pretty small, but
Well, that'd be like a tiny creature.
it is looking up at you, its eyes narrowed. Do you have business with my mistress?
Well, I hope to. So much. We made our acquaintance the other day.
Whenever you say
I was
you hope
hoping
to, you see he almost sighs and rolls his eyes.
We do have business. She placed me on a job, and I was coming to gather some more information so that it might be completed for her.
What's your name?
Did I give my real name? I think I did. Lord Sarasenio.
Wait here, I'll see if the mistress wishes to see you. She is very busy after all.
I understand completely.
He turns and he slams the door in your face.
No problem.
You wait 1 minute, then 2 minutes, and finally the door opens again. This time, instead of the kobold, there is a surprisingly beautiful Dragonborn Woman in the doorway. She wears fine clothing of dark blue that has a dragon's eye emblazoned on it in gold threading. And as she opens the door, she looks at you a little bit tentatively and says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
She's a blue dragon.
She is a blue dragonborn.
I would. Does Ito know how to introduce himself in Beaz Kumlahar? Do they bow or kneel? Or...
You can roll. Trying to think. I guess it would be like a history check,
History?
but probably with advantage because of your
Say as a dignitary, yeah, you'd
your
probably be.
background as a
14.
dignitary and that sort of thing.
14 if I have advantage.
You've never been to Beaz Kumlahar, or at least probably not deep within it, but you have met people from there, trading ships and things like that, and so at the very least you do know the basic courteous greeting. It's not so much a bow. The way it works is it's kind of hard to explain it in wording. You each clasp each other's hands, not like one hand, not like left hand to right hand, but like left hand to left hand, right hand to right hand, and you kind of nod your head slightly, slightly inclining. That is a sort of slightly formal greeting, but the thing is, whenever you're with someone in a superior, if you're an inferior to a superior, they don't nod their head to you, and you bow lower. Or you lower your head slightly more.
Is it like Japan where we have to figure that out before we do it, or can I just default?
It is the type of thing where in Beaz Kumlahar, you just know. You just know.
Okay. Then being
for you, it's a
gringo,
little bit harder than... Yeah.
Being a gringo who is not from there, I will assume I'm the inferior, and I will bow lower.
Right. She bows her head as well, recognizing you as a fairly... if your word is to be trusted, which she seems to trust, that you are a lord of some sort. But she bows her head as well as she clutches your hands and you sort of separate, and she says, "Lord Sarasenio, I can't say that's someone I have met myself, but all of the fine lords and ladies of this land are more than welcome in my company and deserving of my countenance. Especially from someone as far-reaching as the Ile de Royhan, yes?" As, she seems to... Well, she hasn't met you. And she's not super aware of your family. But it seems like she does know you're from the Ile de Royhan.
Okay.
I wonder how.
So... Okay, is this Connor being an idiot, or is this not the woman I met the other day?
This is the exact same woman you met.
She's just oblivious.
To what? Oh, she doesn't seem to have recognized that you're the person she met the other day.
Got it. Okay. As like if I may have a moment of your time, madam, you perhaps forgot, but we have. You have something that you are looking for that I may be of service to help find.
She sort of pauses and... "Oh, yes. Okay. You'll have to pardon me. I meet so many people these days in this place."
I fully understand.
"Would you like to come in and have a seat?"
Certainly, if one is available to me.
Alright. She brings you into the room, and it's much like yours. Sort of well furnished and comfortable. You can see there's a large fire that burns in the fireplace that makes the room surprisingly warm. She doesn't seem to mind it, and it also kind of reminds you of home in a way where it's much warmer down in the Ile de Royhan than it is here. She motions for you to sit down on a nearby sofa, and she does the same. Bartopus, bring us refreshments. As almost out of nowhere, the same kobold that answered the door appears carrying a small tray with various baked delights, cookies and crumpets and things like that, both in sweet and savory styles. And he quickly rushes away to fetch what appears to be a large kettle to begin boiling water for tea. Now, enough of these initial pleasantries. Tell me what it is you want. You have sought me out, yes?
After our chance meeting the other day, after your meeting with the Emperor, I did some thinking on the task that you gave me, and to be blunt, could use the income. So I needed to get some more information on the individual you're searching for.
Oh. I am searching for an earth tiefling by the name of Zara Aldin, but do not be fooled. She is tricky and capable of changing her appearance. In fact, she likely has. She is of value to my master. First of his wives.
And may I ask who your master may be?
I speak of he himself, the Archbishop Usul, Lord of Parzula. Who else would have the money to send out hands this far?
No, that checks. Does Ito know about Usul?
You could roll a history check on him.
This is weird playing two characters, sorry. Uh, 10. Or 18 if I have advantage.
He is, fairly... I mean, he's actually fairly, as far as you could tell, he's fairly well regarded. He can be harsh, but he's not unfair, generally. Under him, the city of Parzula has only continued to thrive. That sort of thing. He's from a long line of rulers. His family has been in the Archbishop's seat for a long time.
And you said he's seeking out his first wife?
Yes.
Was she...
Well, not first wife, but first of his wives.
Yeah, that's what I meant. First. First is in a title.
His greatest treasure.
What led her to leave his court?
Youthful dalliance and things like that. She's young.
And you said she was a tiefling.
A Ganassi. Earth Ganassi.
Okay.
Although, she can change
She
her
can
appearance. In fact, she likely has, to elude arrest.
Is the Emperor involved in her search?
I'm afraid that the Emperor has other things on her mind. And she kind of smiles about that.
Seems to be the case. Is it a bounty that is to be on her head, or is it a closed contract? Do I have to deal with competitors?
Oh, yes. Whoever can bring her in alive will receive the sum.
Alive to you, or alive to Beaz Kumhar, Parzula?
Alive to me. I will see that she is dealt with and taken to Beaz Kumlahar, returned to her rightful place at my master's side.
Can I insight check that, or do I pick up any alternative motives, or is this person just a dutiful servant?
Sure, you can roll an insight check.
That is a 23. Credit.
She seems dutiful. There doesn't seem like there's a lot of ulterior motive. It seems like she has been hired, or she's in a position doing something, and she's interested in doing that. There's not any sort of ulterior motive here. She is genuinely seeking out this person.
Okay. Are they dangerous? The individual, Aldine?
She can be. She has trained in the various arts and styles of fighting. But if that should be a problem, merely hire more men to help you if you find her.
Sure.
10,000 gold can buy a lot of manpower, wouldn't you say? And as a lord, I imagine you have quite a few hands at your side.
Maybe. Maybe about a half dozen, I don't know.
Oh my god, you got a half dozen hands?
Yeah, no. If you want to cut away to somebody else, I'm sure I have other questions, but I can't come up with them off the top of my head right now.
Alec, cool. What are you doing in this great and grand city?
Alec Cool is, at this point, probably still going to seek out Gen, just to make sure there was nothing he needed in particular. Other than that, going to keep an eye on the ship.
Alright. You seek out Gen, asking around the palace grounds for where the advisor Gen or Gehentramaz is. And you are directed not to the private quarters, not toward this tower that holds all the quarters of the dignitaries. Gracie, it's just the baby! I'll be right back. You're not, Aliku, you are not directed towards the housing area or the sort of dignitaries area. Instead, you're actually directed into the main central structure itself, this grand palace that has this large minaret on the top, as you're looking for Gen.
Hell yeah.
Soon you actually find yourself standing outside of, well, as far as you can tell, the meeting room for literally all the main and chief advisors for everyone in the kingdom. Basically the most important people in this entire kingdom, in this entire empire, and you're just standing outside it, waiting for Gen to get done with his business. You sort of wait there for a couple minutes.
I try to be very quiet.
And after a while, a woman, young, maybe, 19 or so, sort of strides up, a sort of look of disdain on her face, as she looks at you and says, "Are they done yet in there?"
Don't believe so. I don't
Jesus Christ.
particularly want to knock.
She walks past you and just opens the door. "Oh my god, what is taking so long?" As you can see, there's a room of maybe a score of advisors. You do see, just peering through the doorway, you see Gen. He is in his 29-year-old form, his attractive young to middle-aged man form, with several older people, many of them sort of gray-haired and long-bearded. Mostly human, but you see an elf and a couple of dwarves as well. And they all are immediately deferential to her, as one of a couple of them bow their heads. Again says, "Your Holiness, this is we have business to attend to. You have been invited to these meetings over the matter of the invasion of your country." And she just immediately says, "I know, but they're so dull. I told you, just raise an army and send it on its way. That's what people are there for, right? They get to enjoy all the stuff that we give them, and then all of a sudden when we need to raise an army, they're pissed about it. Just fix it."
I just go inside if I hear her acting like that. I don't think she'll mind.
She doesn't even notice you hardly as you walk in. But Gen does, and he sort of says, "If that is your decree, my lady." And the meeting seems to adjourn as people begin moving away, as she says, "Finally." And she goes to one of the old men and starts talking to him as they go through the doorway. Yen sort of meets you down at the central area. You can see the meeting room, like I said, it's quite small and intimate. It's circular in design, almost like a forum of some sort or an amphitheater. It is tiered, with a area, basically a speaking floor at the middle, a small sort of dais that you can stand on, and a podium. And you sort of stand next to the dais as Gen comes down from the top level and stands next to you and sort of shakes his head. She is, well, she's got a lot of work that needs to be done with her if she's to be a good ruler, that's for sure.
I can't say that my faith in anything has been bettered by that.
Strong-willed, but someone who is as strong-willed as she is, if her will can be bent to something useful. But you must have sought me out for something, Cool. How can I help you?
Well, I did receive your invitation. This was as soon as I could get here. But, is there any other news from Ertzig or any of the other holds between here and there?
Well, the last news I had from Ertzig was, I'm afraid that, for the most part, as far as I can tell, it's about 10% of, some of the Hussars did manage to break out the gate. Did manage to get away. They rejoined Adelindra's host, but it's just a handful, I'm afraid. As for the civilians, from what I can tell, they did make their way into the Underdark, led by The vast majority of the Hussars that had been stationed there, their whereabouts, unknown, I'm afraid.
Well, if it's unknown to us, it might be unknown to them.
That is true. I have faith if anyone can get through the Underdark, it's them. The Lady Adelindra is riding forthwith to the capital to receive her actual promotion, formally, as taking over as High General of the entire armed forces. She'll, well, I suppose she would sit on this advisory council normally, but I'm afraid duty is likely to call her away to the field.
I imagine so. Has there been any other attacks since Ertzig?
Oh, we've heard raiding parties and things like that. Have not heard from Kurt's castle itself for a while, however. Not that that's unusual. Messaging can be quite difficult sometimes. From what I had last heard, they were pretty much, I'd say most of the population had already evacuated onto the Vergild Plains, and Lord Jurgen von Richten was prepared to evacuate with his staff, and likely riding with the host of the Hussars, along with his own personal guard.
Well,
Boy, I sure do wish Cody were here.
Boy.
the only thing that I know that I've learned on my end is the vision I spoke with you about when we first met. Some of my kind have been getting not a similar vision, but their own vision, but quite a few of them have been getting the same vision, which, to my knowledge, has never happened before.
Is interesting, to say the least, if that's the case.
And my... Well, without spending the time explaining it, communing with the Mantis Queen has resulted in more questions than answers, but I believe that as things go, this is going to spread the ice well past this nation and into my home.
Well, for it to get to your home, it would have to go through here.
Yeah, that's the vision I was given. Not to say that those can't be changed, but as things stand, it's not looking good.
Dire tidings indeed.
If you see or hear of any other of my kind around, I would very much like to meet with them. As I recall, there were at least a dozen.
Well, if you like, we can send out riders.
That would be much appreciated.
Your kind would, well, not be. I don't mean to be offensive or cruel, but someone of your kind rolling into a city would cause quite a stir. If it happened, we'll hear about it.
Well, if you could send them my way, I would appreciate it.
You do,
We have to be in town for a little while, so.
You do have at least one good thing to go on. As far as where someone might be, you knew one had been pretty close and had not been long set out from Dern. It's a while away.
Yeah.
But that's that's one place they can start looking, and they could probably get there a little bit faster than you expect.
Yeah, I do let him know that there was one on his way probably a few days after I had left from Dern, headed towards us now, but it's quite hard to say exactly how far they may have gotten.
We'll send out people to those sort of standings and steads and villages. But there is the matter of what to do with you. We have had ambassadors from Parzula. You could act as an ambassador on the behalf of your people here. It is within my power to elevate you to that status.
If you would have me, that'd be an honor.
I fear before things are done, we're gonna need all of the peoples united. Everything one that we can find. And you can see as he does so, he sort of almost absent-mindedly rubs his side and leg around the area where you saw him hit by the giant hailstone.
Don't mean to pry, but how are you recovering from the attack when I last saw you?
Still sore. You'd think being able to transform in and out of forms would solve that immediately, but it did leave problems. I don't walk quite as fast as I used to, but I can still get around.
Well, I understand the feeling. I tell you, falling at great height does not feel very good. I show him the shit ton of cracks in my carapace.
He sort of looks at it and says, I imagine many people have scars to brag about by the end of this, didn't you say? And he kind of smiles about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of bragging and scars, how fares your ally, Klaus?
He seems alright. He met a friend. I suppose a long lost friend of his when we were in Dern.
Roll an insight check.
I don't know why I was looking for physical dice. Oh, why can't I see? Okay, there we go. The page was like loading opaque, so I couldn't see which check is which.
His brow furrows whenever you say.
Like 20 fucking dice sounds.
I see a 22.
I just hear a bunch of dice rolling sounds.
I wonder if that's okay. I see what it is.
Okay.
22. You can see whenever you say he met a friend, his brow kind of furrows. What sort of friend exactly?
Quite weird fellow, but kind but odd. I describe how he looks. I don't quite remember if he's supposed to look like the little picture that he had for him, but I do describe how he looks. I believe most of the crew were staying at his hotel or his inn, a hotel. Is the Taste of Pride and Blood his? Is that was what that's called?
Yep.
I believe it's a Taste of Pride and Blood. I'm gonna stay on the airship. I have too much to do there too. But...
Yes, the work on the airship's gonna take a pretty significant amount of time, all things considered.
Yeah.
He nods his head and says, Perhaps I'll stop in for a visit. It's been too long since I've associated and enjoyed the comforts and taverns of the common man. Be nice to... What?
Do be careful around him. Something's been different. Okay, can't say what. And it's harder to tell these days since he's been in better spirits with his friend around. But
What do you mean different?
What do you mean, friend?
he's being a little more secretive than before. It's kind of hard to put it exactly.
How is his arm? Does he favor it?
Okay, out of character, as I recall, it's more than ever, right, Beaver? Like you've been favoring your arm way more than you were before.
Slightly, I wouldn't say way more, but definitely a noticeable amount.
Yeah, he's favoring it more than he had. I don't tend to want to poke too much, but he is.
Not that calls him right.
It's bothering him.
Well, as I said, I suppose we will all have our wounds before this is done. Boy, that is a bad deception check. There's something that he is hiding. And almost immediately he says, I'll see that the paperwork for your ambassadorship is brought in post-haste. If you'll excuse me. But he like gets up and leaves. He doesn't answer. He doesn't answer. He gets up and leaves.
Is there another person here?
There are other advisors.
Okay.
But Gen gets up and sort of quickly walks out.
Is he walking outside?
No, you're in the actual palace area, so he like walked out the door. He goes into a hallway and, you know.
Okay.
Like I said, it's an interior building, and he just walks away. Pointedly.
I basically want to get out of character knowledge of what the ambassadorship would entail for my character.
You sure can. You can ask any of the advisors. They all know about as much as Gen, and they're all a bunch of elderly men. For the most part, one of them, however, a dwarf, pats you on the back, and by that I mean your lower back, and you're surprised as you like stagger forward. There's an old Longbeard that looks up at you. His face, his skin is like tanned leather, and he has tattoos completely covering himself. And his beard is his beard is completely white, but they're like tribal tattoos all over him.
Shit. Hell yeah, dude.
His clothing, compared to the rest of the other ambassadors who wear very sort of formal clothing, his clothing is rather plain. And he talks with a strange accent as he says, I've never seen the likes of you before.
I'm a friend of Gen's. He's asking me about being an ambassador for my people.
Yes, Gen. Gen, very smart boy.
He is, yes.
Sometimes too smart for his own good. Always wanting to do things his own way.
Well, I'd rather be too smart for my own good than too dumb to understand what's going on.
And the dwarf cracks into a large, sort of toothy smile, revealing like bright white teeth. As he points to you and says, "You get the idea, yes?" I don't even know what this fucking accent is.
So. I couldn't tell.
My wife.
My wife. The tattooed Borat dwarf. What normally is looked for an ambassador to be doing? I kind of accepted without knowing.
Oh, it's pretty easy job. I myself am an ambassador of sorts. You are able to speak and sit in on advisory councils that you are in. Well, most of them. Some of them, the high advisors, they are not able to take you in, but most advisory councils you can sit in meetings, things like that. Usually you have invitations to all the nicest balls and dances, and lately there have been balls and dances every night because the Holy Emperor wills it. And you can see he looks a little bit tired, and he's a little bit exasperated by the fact that there are balls and dances and gatherings almost every night.
Like, help me! I can't party this much. I'm not as young as I used to be.
You also receive lodging accommodations and things like that.
Huh. Well, and Colin, out of character, what does that mean I do?
You are there to act as the voice of the Thrycreen, and the Thrycreen within Beaz Kumlahar as an advisor, a minor advisor, an ambassador, to learn what's going on in Weissenberg and the plans and meetings of the council and of the Emperor of Stahlreich and what exactly is going on in Stahlreich, and pass it on to your people. And in
Does
turn,
that mean I should? Does that mean I should stay here?
Probably not. Well, you're an
Okay.
ambassador, but you have to at some point be able to talk with your people.
Gotcha. Okay. I wanted to.
It's pretty, it can be pretty dull affairs, but the food is good.
Well, I suppose I will see you around.
Oh
then.
yeah, oh yes, yes.
I'm Alec Cool, by the way.
He looks at you. He's like he like reaches out a hand to shake your hand, but he almost seems a little bit apprehensive as to which hand to shake, as he sort
I
of
reach out my upper right hand.
How rude.
he takes your hand and he shakes it. He nods his head and says, "My name is Luano Ma'aliki Ali'i."
Luano.
He sort of nods his head and says, "Yeah, that's what most people around here call me."
You should have pulled a power move and held out all of your hands.
Sorry, it's culturally acceptable to shake every hand at once.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not strong enough? No, in my head I imagine that shaking hands for a Thrycreen is a person of power shakes upper right, or a person of power uses their small hand to shake someone's larger hand. And then you reach out your little baby hand to shake if you're a higher up.
Alright, you've met Luano Ma'aliki Ali'i.
What's his last name, Colin?
Ma'aliki Ali'i is his last name. He's an unusual sort, and not like any dwarf you've ever heard of.
Nope, it sure isn't.
Said, he spends some time talking to you, and you learn that he is an ambassador, but not from any of the sort of dwarf clans of the mountain. Apparently, within the strangeness of the weird sea, there are dwarven clans that live on islands. And they are, like I said, they're much like, they have sort of tribal tattoos and, stuff like that.
So you're saying he's like a Hawaiian dwarf?
I mean, basically.
Sick.
They live in, like...
Wayne the Dwarf Johnson.
However, they are indeed still miners, but a lot of their mining is done underwater. They mine coral formations and things like that.
Neat.
And you can see he actually shows you tools that are made from various coral stuff and jewelry that's made from things like coral
That's
things.
neat.
You probably spent a while with him. He's very friendly.
Hell yeah. Hang
And,
out with this guy for a little bit.
yeah, he'll even invite you back to like. He invites you back to his like quarters, but not for like sexy times. He like wants to have dinner with you and talk with you. He says, is of someone who often feels like a stranger in a strange land. It's always nice to have. It's nice to welcome someone that probably feels the same way I do. I know what it was like the first time I got here. So many tall buildings and things like that.
Yeah, you don't say. It's been a weird few months or a year. I don't know. It's been a weird time since I left home.
Well, let me show you a little bit of friendship and invite you over for a meal. How about that?
I appreciate it.
God, I don't even know what this fucking accent is.
It's gone from my wife to like slight Irish leprechaun. Like
When was
Scottish.
it your wife?
It's like a Scottish Romani.
Ooh, Scottish Romani. That's good.
You'll be needing a bit of the scotch there, Sonny Jim.
Blue, never speak again.
Come on then. How do you feel about feel about seafood? We can get pretty fresh seafood, surprisingly, from Veskermund. Be surprised how fast it can be transported up the waters.
Not had much seafood. I'm not picky though, so
Oh god.
I'm willing
Did
to
you find
try
this gif of
anything.
Seth Rogen, Tommy.
Alright. And he's gonna take you back to his place and seduce you with seafood.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I wish a dwarf would take me back to their place and seduce me with seafood. Fuck.
You already get a dragon lady.
That's fair.
I mean, oysters are supposed to be an aphrodisiac.
Alright. What's Klaus and Zara doing?
I'm gonna go take the Ziggy out because she's being real fussy.
Truth be told, Klaus and Zara have probably passed out due to dehydration.
I'm trying to think of what Klaus is doing.
A bath.
'Cause we did leave off in the brothel.
It's true. Are there showers in the brothel?
Of-
Because if they're not, there really should be.
Of course there's baths. There's not fucking showers, but there are baths. What do you think, there's like stepping into a running shower?
Yeah.
You got cast iron tubs that you can bathe
Is
in.
not a good source of hydration. It's a good source of protein.
Yeah, you would know.
And zinc and
I would.
selenium.
Connor is a semen monster.
Mm,
It turns out Connor is 3/4 semen at this point.
mm, mm.
3/4 semen, 1/4 Bailey's Irish cream. How's that for a cocktail?
Dude, I had a really good cocktail the other day.
Oh yeah, what was his name?
We found we found the Blind Elephant, which was like a speakeasy themed bar in Wilmington.
Yeah.
We actually had to find it, like its entry door was in the middle of an alleyway. And we came in like 10 minutes before closing, and the bartender was a really good sport about it. He was like, "We've gone to 4 bars, every single one of them have closed early. Can you please make us a fucking drink?" And he made me a lion's tail, but instead of 3 ounces of rye whiskey, he did 1 ounce of rye whiskey and 2 ounces of banana liqueur, and it was delicious.
I know that feeling of like going into a bar 15 minutes before close and trying to drink as much as you can because
Yeah. I asked, well, because I ordered something off the menu, and then I was like, "Hey, can you just improvise me something? Like, I want to try a new cocktail." There was this place that I really wanted to go, and it kept closing early every single day. Help us out. He's like, "Sure. Let me throw something together." And he just, you know, it's a good drink when your bartender has to climb up a ladder to get the
yeah.
spirits.
I remember one time me and my sister we were downtown drinking, and then we went to a party, and it was like the world's shittiest party.
Oh no.
and we went there because her friend had a crush on like the guy that was like running the party, but the party sucked. And so we left at like 1:30 and the bars closed at 2. And so we went back downtown. It's like 1:45 and went to the opera room and we're just like, give us whatever's strongest. We got 15 minutes to drink.
So we were trying to go to Whiskey Tango Foxtrot right next to the opera room because our hotel was across the street. We were at that Marriott. But every night that we literally parked our car, threw the kid upstairs in the hotel room, came downstairs and they were closed.
I know my sister is the same girl that we went to that party with. She's like a bartender at the opera room. She's there a lot. But the point is, what is Klaus doing? And Zara, you've at this time had opportunity to shower off. You know, you're not covered in all the juices and all the grossness now. And Madame Murdoch, is the large Goliath, has tended to you and made sure that you're quite clean. She's laid out very fresh, warm towels that are soft and fluffy and comforting and soothing after your day's endeavor.
I think what I'm gonna instruct Zara to keep an eye out for the man we discussed. The guard that we were gonna swipe the key off of.
I could not make that out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me turn the volume down a little bit.
No, there was a guard that we were gonna have.
There was a guard coming.
Take over for the regular that he goes to see, and you're gonna swipe the key.
Zara was gonna pose as like a plant, right?
Yeah, and I want to say that was today. So while you do that deed, I'm gonna go to the library. I'm gonna look up how to kill dragons.
I'm sure they've got a book on it.
Hey, how's no smart man?
How to kill dragons for dummies.
You like open the book and then Gen's just behind you, just like
All right.
Like,
It's like, hey, Gen, you might hate this one. Give me a hand.
All right. Like I said, I will say last week, last time we were here, I went over last time I went over that the guard usually comes in on Tuesday. Currently, it is Monday or Montag. So you've got a day to prepare for this guard.
And am I doing this job for Klaus or for Madame Murdoch?
It would be for Klaus. Madame Murdoch, as far as you know, doesn't have any clue about the actual reality of this situation.
Sounds to me like Klaus is front and room and board for 24 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Let me write down. Klaus is also going to go do some research on dragons and dragon slaying.
I might also slip some time in for like maps of, I guess, the city or something like that, or some kind of way of navigating the barracks or whatever.
All right.
Worth and Miller and Prison Break.
All right. That's enough of that nonsense, as far as I'm concerned. You've got your plans in place. You've got your research done. Joseph Smoke.
What about him?
Okay.
There is something within you that seems to sing upon looking at these walls, glittering in beautiful sunlight. There is something that you don't understand within you. As you look upon the, basically the palace of the Holy Emperor, you feel something unlike you felt since you last left home, since the unfortunate events with the Redeemer in your own village. You feel welcomed here. You feel almost like you belong here. And you don't know why.
Nice.
Exactly. It's an unusual thing. Is there anything you would like to do in this city?
Wasn't
We
there
are
a
in the
vault?
capital, by the way.
You are in the capital. It is the second, technically it's the second biggest trading city in the entirety of the Empire, the only second behind Veskermund, the coastal city to the south. But
Wasn't there some crazy vault that I was supposed to open up?
there is in fact a vault, and that is something you're all sort of working on. The, basically the steel mint, you found a key to it on the Redeemer's possessions. This steel mint key meant something to the Redeemer. He kept it close, and more importantly, there at the end, whenever his fate was meted out and he knew he was going to die, he tried to make sure that you saw it, that you at least knew where it was. So that's an interesting prospect, really. This is something the Redeemer wanted you to see. Well, not necessarily you specifically, but the group.
Yeah.
And currently, Aruna has the key, apparently, from what I've heard.
I guess we'll all meet up and go in the vault later then.
It's real human in there, Aruna.
It is the biggest, the second biggest city in the entire Empire. There's delights and terrors of all sorts and all kinds to be had. There are
I just can't
pleasures
think of anything that I'd want.
and perils that can be sated, both great and terrible. I'm speaking way too flowery right now, so if I'm trying to get you involved in this to do whatever you want, and also potentially introduce your new character.
I think we'll finish out this vault thing with smoke. Or at least get this plot line out of the way before we do that.
Would you go to A Taste of Pride and Blood, the inn that everyone else has gone to? It is the... It's not the hub of the Thieves Guild here, but it's like it's above the hub of the Bloodstone Brotherhood. It is Siegfried's personal inn that sits just outside the fighting pits.
We changed it to Sigmund last time. Because that was easier for you.
Sigmund.
Yeah, yeah, I'll go there. I guess I'm gonna have to get a room while I'm staying here anyway.
Whenever you enter, you see that A Taste of Pride and Blood has no windows. It has no natural light that flows in. It's only illuminated in sort of dull orange light from a large central fire as sort of pallid and thin barmaids go to and fro with faces slightly sunken and dark circles beneath their eyes. They tend on the local residents, who also seem just as disheartened and disinterested as the barmaids. A cat leaps up into your, or sort of rubs up against you, and whenever you sit down, leaps up into your lat. It is an orange tabby cat, surprisingly fat, as if it's been eating extremely well, and it sort of lowers itself down on your lap, purring quietly. And you see, actually, as you sit there waiting for anyone to notice you, a barmaid to notice you as they're rushing to and fro from customer to customer, Gen walks in, looking around, sort of expectantly, almost. The silver dragon in his, basically, not child form, but his older male form, steps inside. You can see he leans into a barmaid and whispers something to her. She just kind of shakes her head slightly as he looks a little bit downtrodden. But he notices you, Joseph Smoke. I don't know if the mic just picked up that wicked fart I just ripped, but
I didn't hear anything.
it's pretty wild.
It's the sound of undeath.
Because I'm so close to the mic leaning forward, it came out the top of my butt. Alright. But he notices you, Joseph Smoke. And he sits down next to you. He orders a round of drinks on him. And he says, "It's been a while."
Has it?
Oh yes.
Certainly has.
It's been months since since Gen and Joseph Smoke have met.
So you took a tumble last time we met.
Well, you know what they say, whenever you take a tumble, you get right back up, right?
Did you though?
I spent some time down, but I'm up doing what I can now. Well, as best as I can. I wish things were going better.
You certainly didn't get right back up. We worried. We all.
Well, I apologize for that. And he the two of you kind of sit quietly for a while. And he says, he kind of looks at you, and his eyes kind of glitter.
What are you looking at again? You have something to say. Say it.
It's hard for your kind to understand.
My kind.
Yes. Short races, short-lived. And even though Esmar lived a little bit longer than humans compared to a dragon,
I think it's like 120, something like that. Is like the usual lifespan.
compared to a
something like that.
dragon, it's the blink of an
Still
eye. He says, "I remember whenever I met or whenever I talked to your friend Ito, I told him that dragons see things differently. I see the same thing whenever I look at you that I see whenever I look at the Emperor. I see the past, everyone in their past. Sometimes I think that's why I hold so close to serving her and helping her, because when I look at her, I see him." And he seems a little bit sad.
Do you see him because you want to see him, or do you see him because you see him in her? Because from what I understand, she is vastly different.
I don't even know at this point anymore.
Maybe it's best to move on.
She's willful, to be sure. Wily and... well... even so. I see Magdalene when I look at her. I see someone that I failed. I see someone that I might not, or someone that I might be able to help. If she can just, I don't know, figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a good leader somewhere in her, I can see it.
Can I impart some wisdom on you?
He just sort of remains silent, waiting.
You're seeing Gen because you want her to be Gen. You want her to be the best version of Gen, or you want her to be the best version of him that you know. She needs to be the best version of herself. Quit trying to push her toward this vision, this thing that does not exist of him, and push her toward the best version of herself. Because you're not going to get him out of her.
Maybe you're right.
You're an old man. And I know old habits die hard. But you need to move forward. We all do. Or you get caught up in this madness. War that plagues us all. Just not too long ago, we were fighting an army of zombies and a man raised him. I killed him. And I'm no closer to bringing back the family he took from me. We all move forward. It's time you do the same.
He sits quietly for a while and he says, maybe you're right. I guess there is part of me that wanted her to be like him. And now, I suppose I can't mold her like that. She has to be who she's going to be. And she can be someone. She can be something great. I've seen it. Flashes of it. It's hard to explain, really.
Again, would you say that this prophecy that we're chasing is fate?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I believe in fate.
If it is, then won't it work itself out? Wouldn't fate take care of this? Why would you leave it up to yourself? You fight against a current. You swim against a current and you go nowhere.
Well, perhaps it was my fate to swim against a current. You've given me a lot to think about, though, Joseph Smoke.
Next time you fall out of the sky, be sure to find us when you land.
Technically, he did.
Sooner.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And I want to get up and retire to my room for a bit.
Alright. Role-playing from Joseph Smoke, everyone.
And that's the last good role-playing from Joseph Smoke you're gonna get. It's all sound buttons from here on out.
Gen remains waiting, at a taste of Brighton blood. After you get up, the cat sort of leaps off, wanders away, as Gen waits. Gen waits to see Klaus. I think it's time to start pulling everybody back together. For people to start convening on the stuff that they've researched and the things that they've learned, and also to begin planning about why one of the main reasons they're here. The fact that they have to get in, they have the key to this vault within the heart of the city of Weissenberg, the Iron Mint. A place that the Redeemer apparently held so important and so dear that he carried the key upon him at all times. A key that you learn from Algernon von Schmidt he was loath to let anyone even get close to or handle, just in case it were to fall into the wrong hands. And a key that he, in his final moments, pulled out his coat and apparently wanted you to see. A key to his final words. Does anybody remember what those final words were?
Hell to the nah.
I always like to do this and say, does anybody remember what his final words were?
Honestly, like it's been too long,
I
like
mean,
in literal time.
Can you give me?
technically, Reed would know because he wasn't actually standing there when these guys,
Can anyone give me an idea of what his final words were?
Whose final words? The Redeemer?
The Redeemers, yeah.
A hallowed king walks before a white tide.
Oh my God,
seeing
Tommy
missing
remembers.
heart, and will
No,
flee
Tommy
before
doesn't
him in
remember
fear.
shit. Tommy wrote it down.
Tommy remembers his
Don't give
final
Tommy that
words.
credit.
A hollowed king walks before a white tide.
It's weird because it's in the general notes. Very strange.
oh, okay. So yeah, you're talking about
What are notes?
His final words on the prophecy.
Wait,
I was
did he
really
say
hoping
hollowed?
his final words were gonna be like, "You're reading it backwards, you idiots."
Yeah, his final words Ivan et Niage.
God damn it.
His final words. Have you ever seen the movie Top Gun from 1986? Basically the Navy's best propaganda recruiting movie and slash ever.
They're making another one.
Well, they have to. After
Yeah.
after Top Gun, they were able to go for a lot of years without having to do recruitment,
Yeah.
and then 9/11 happened,
then
which
seven.
was good recruitment for the military, and now they need that bump in recruitment again, so they're going with Top Gun 2.
They had a Democratic president, and he ruined everything.
You gotta go with Top Gun 2, you know? All right. I'm trying to reconvene everybody together so you're able to discuss your next plans. Where exactly you want to go next within the capital? So I'm kind of the generally easiest place for everyone to meet is a taste of pride and blood. Klaus, I don't know how you react to you walking inside and seeing Gin there in his very sexy, gray-haired Anderson Cooper, middle-aged dude form.
Is Anderson Cooper still middle-aged?
He's not, but Gen has the same colored hair and eyes,
Okay,
basically.
I just wanted to confirm.
Anderson Cooper is firmly in the Silver Fox.
Yeah, I was gonna say Anderson Cooper's been in Silver Fox mode for about 20 years.
Gen has the same sort of gray-silver hair. His eyes are sort of a steely grayish blue. But he's there also, waiting whenever you arrive, Klaus. As soon as you enter, Klaus, the cat begins sort of rubbing up against you, and you don't see Siegfried, however. Sigmund. We're going with... Oh my god, it's easier to say fucking Siegfried than Sigmund now.
God damn it!
Just change
Is
the
this name gonna
singer.
change every? Is it gonna change every session? It should change every session.
Just, whenever I...
Call him Siggy.
Whatever is Sig X.
Every single one of us needs aliases.
That's true. If Klaus went to go look up stuff about dragons, could I just, come back with him
Yeah.
for the sake of reconvening? Cool.
I'll even Klaus, go ahead and give me an investigation check. I'll go ahead and figure out what you found on that too, because I kind of want it to be late night and everyone reconvening to decide what their next move is, because there's still so much in front of you that you need to really hammer out what you want to do exactly. You're here in the capital, but what's next? The Iron Vault is in front of you, but even beyond that, what is next? This opportunity to really think. It is currently 10 p.m. No, 10:30 p.m. at night. And what was your investigation?
Is it 15?
On what? Killing dragons?
Yeah.
As
No,
far
smooching.
I'll look more specifically for well, I guess Bismarck to start with, and then we'll go from that to what was her name? Ursula. And then Peterson.
Bismarck is not too hard to find things on. There's actually a pretty significant amount. He has always been not only just a fairly prominent dragon, but one that's actually been fairly, I suppose you could say, in the limelight.
Just as an out of character question, real quick. Dragons are it's not like dragons are rare in this particular world. Dragons are like really fucking rare, right?
They're quite rare, quite rare.
Like,
it's from what you've read from the Encyclopedia Draconica and from the Legend of Hosphodel, they're becoming rarer and rarer. Now there's just handfuls of dragons, but the dragons that are left are exceedingly powerful.
Sure, you know, this is a really weird and awkward metaphor, but I was thinking about it the other day of like, it's sort of like, you know, the Bible. There's thousands of people there, but there's only like 20 or 30 people that have names.
Sure, but well, no, because there's not thousands of dragons.
Sure.
There's just handfuls of them.
These are the ones that we know.
These are the ones you know. They're the most prominent within the history of Stahlreich. And as far as you can tell about Bismarck, there's quite a bit about him. He was absolutely in the limelight, someone that people know because people could go and talk to him. They could make deals with him. They could do... people had fairly easy access to him. For better and for worse, you do come across incidences where people tried to make deals with him and just got burnt to a crisp because the deal was so bad. And there was nothing to do against him. They took that into... That's part of the risk they took on into trying to make a deal with him. And certainly, considering the value he added to Ertzig by providing Dragonfire when it was a reasonable deal, they weren't going to mess with that. Those were casualties that could happen. They took their lives into their own hands, and that's just how it worked out. So things about Bismarck, pretty common, but also mostly stuff that you know, honestly. A red dragon within the heart of a volcano, happy to make deals with people if they offered him the right thing. Providing dragonfire to craft all sorts of wondrous magical items and weapons and machines, such as what's her name's accounting machine.
Hey, I thought that was really cool.
It was really cool. Pat on my back, although I literally can't remember her fucking name. Mayora. It took me a second. I was like, alright, we got Dags, and we got Mayora. There we go.
Rid of all of Connor's people. So
it's true, they haven't been present in a while.
Yeah, they took a separate path down to Prost. However, if you can get that freaking teleportation circle up and running. However, Prost is a whole different thing. Prost is a powerful magical city that is going to try to withstand the siege instead of evacuate its people. What was I saying? I was too busy thinking about that fucking accounting machine.
You were talking about Bismarck and Dragonfire.
Yeah, you don't find out much about him than you already know. That much is obvious. Like I said,
fat.
Is
But
red.
Anything about dragons in general? Like, just, I guess, any dragon
he's a
slayers?
huge dick.
Dragon slayers of the past?
Sure. As you read in, you go over various tales, you actually find yourself, like, pulled to, like, old sort of legends, almost like fairy tales and things like that. Myths of some sort. Hold on. And you come across the legend, of Aethelred the Black-Hearted. A dragon slayer, that was hated by the realm. Aethelred the Black-Hearted was a surly man. He was prone to bouts of anger drunken sort of fighting. Most of the people near him hated him, but he was such a prominent figure in a time where dragons could really be a problem that they tolerated it. They say that before every dragon fight, he drank no less than 5 liters of grain alcohol. And
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
We're talking about like the Warhammer fantasy dragon slayers. Okay.
And in his blind,
2
drunken,
foot tall dwarfs with 6 foot tall mohawks.
surly rage, acted purely on instinct. And Ethelred the Black-Hearted, functioning almost in a brain-dead state, was able to slay these dragons. Now, you don't know if there's any truth behind this. This is just a legend, but it's what you come across. It's a bit of an odd story, but it is what it is.
One that I'm really gonna make you expound upon more than it deserves.
So you have to drink 5 liters of grain alcohol and see if you don't die from it. Then you can slay a dragon.
So, roll a Constitution saving throw, then roll another one, and then we'll talk.
You die of poisoning.
I just learned to do a poison kit just so I can be more efficient at it, you know? Like, I've got a beer funnel in my poisoner's kit, got a cocktail shaker.
But as for other than that, you don't really find much of anything that you don't already know, you know? Like I said, you've got the Encyclopedia Draconica that find copies of there, etc., etc. But you don't find anything really new. There's not a lot on that sort of subject here. There's not like a manual of dragon killing, unfortunately. There's not like
Damn, I was hoping for
an idiot's guide to how to kill dragons. It's right there.
Yahoo Answers, or what's his name? Fucking Maxim Body.
The Idiot's Guide to Dragon Killing. You open it up and it's like 300 pages long, but it's a bunch of blank pages. On the first page it says "Don't." So
It just says don't.
So unfortunately, that's what you find. There's not, like I said, there's not a lot on that. There's stuff on Bismarck, Ursula. There's not a lot on outside of, like I said, the Encyclopedia Draconica. You find that sort of brief little story, but you don't really find anything else before you head back to the inn. A taste of pride and blood to meet back up with everyone to go over what what you've been doing and what you're planning to do. But Klaus, you are surprised to see that Gen is there. Sort of waiting up for you. Almost immediately, like I said, you're there and the cat begins sort of rubbing up against you, and the barmaids come to your side. And
Is the cat familiar to me at all?
roll a history check.
Like,
First time here, isn't it?
10.
The cat was there when the cat was a stray that sort of came about. Siegfried brought it in whenever, right, maybe a couple months before the unfortunate event happened. It was a fat old tabby cat that he just brought in to take care of, that always sort of hung around a taste of pride and blood, and started off a little bit distant, but Siegfried would throw scraps out the back, and the cat would sort of munch on them, and eventually it just came in and became the sort of inn's cat. It would hunt mice and things like that, and it often liked to lounge in you and your father's laps and purr and nuzzle up against you.
Okay, so nothing.
It was named.
Cat.
It was named. Siegfried named it Bosco.
Bosco. Nice.
I like it.
But it's been around for a while, and it really doesn't look a day older.
Hey, Colin, can I check and see if it's a magic cat?
Sure. What are you rolling for to do that?
There's mad demonic juju coming off that thing.
I was either gonna do an Arcana check, and if I can't figure out anything with that, I just wanted to detect magic anyway.
Roll an Arcana check.
Oh baby, that's a lot better than a natural 1. That's a 20, not natural.
You don't sense anything from it, but you can cast Detect Magic.
Okay, so it's not like the weird like Fey familiar.
You don't.
Aura about him.
You don't sense that.
Okay.
Can I use my paladin to detect good and evil on it and see if I'm pinging that cat?
Sure.
We're just all
'Cause
sitting in
now
the
I'm
corner,
cur-
just like, what the fuck's up?
You
with
guys
this?
remember
It's like me and Aruna in a
introduced to
eyeballing this cat. We're like eyeballing this cat. We're like, there's something up with that cat. And Aruna's like, oh, there's something definitely up with that cat.
I don't even say hi to anyone. I'm just like, yeah, I'm fucking here, guys. Here for the game. Just a really fat cat.
You weren't here the last time that we were in a dungeon and we found a dog.
That's scary. I don't like
Fucking-
that.
Oh wait, but
Flowers
hold on. Let's get to the thing of it. We're casting. What are we casting on this fucking cat?
I'm using my paladin detect good and evil thing within a mile of me and that thing.
What is the exact wording of the? Oh wait, I can look that up. Detect good and evil. Detect.
It's the shit. Let me look at it.
Okay,
Reach
so-
to have a nice soothing cup of tea while these guys all fuck with the cat.
In reality, I'm not using detect magic for the cat. I'm using the detect magic for Klaus's fucking weird ass arm that I haven't gotten to check out in a while. But if it also pings the cat, that's fine too.
Yeah, as an action, you can detect good and evil until the end of your next turn. You can sense anything affected by the hollow spell, or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet
Alright.
that is not behind total cover.
For the
You can
duration.
use this feature 5 times per long rest.
For detect evil and good. Is that what it is?
Watch this be one of those all cats are evil. You detect all of them.
Have you read Sandman?
The cat is a Solar and just immediately fucking disintegrates you.
This is a
Fucking Deva.
a
we just get
paladin ability,
shit
yeah.
on.
God, wouldn't that be a great end to the campaign?
But I just want to know its exact wording.
Oh, I see Colin's mouth moving, but I don't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Scary.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Oh
me?
God,
Colin, if you're trying to talk to us,
Hold
he's
on.
muted.
You are muted.
The monk of the Onyx Serpent moves with surprising alacrity.
Colin, could I try to like?
Suck his dick.
No, God damn it! Can I finish my sentence, Connor? And then, can I try to like chain his feet, trip him?
Sure.
I want to like sweep the leg with the chain.
Sure. It's basically like a
Like,
trip.
Riptack.
Hold on, I might actually. Hold on, let me see. I might have something that could. Ah, here we go. All right. Oh, he's a monk. He's right. Oh well, maybe. Oh, that's just. Dang. Okay. Can I actually cast Hold Person on him?
I mean, are you ready? Are you ready for this idea? Are you ready for this idea?
What's up?
Seeing this person fleeing for the doorway, a half-elf whips out his weapon and uses his maneuvers to bring his what weapon does Venta True Cloud use?
Fucking, he's Cloud. He's great.
Colin confirmed for better player than anyone here.
Reaches out and places his greatsword just in front of the feet of this fleeing person. I know there is an actual maneuver tripping attack, but we're going to use a sweeping attack. Use the maneuver sweeping attack. Ed.
Oh, let me get on that character sheet.
Okay.
Did Klaus just roll?
I rolled.
Oh.
I was rolling the attack for Venta True Cloud.
Ah.
That way you don't have to really worry about it. He sticks
Oh.
the sword out right between his feet, and the guy topples over. Landing sort of halfway between the doorway outside and halfway between the doorway inside. He lands face first, and he's stunned for a moment.
Colin thought of that while he was taking his shit.
Had to go pee.
I'm gonna jump on top of it. I'm gonna try to tie his ass up.
Oh yeah.
Well, Reed was gonna throw his needle at him, the ghost chain dart. But if they've already got this, I'm just gonna go back to my tea.
That's always a good choice.
Hey, Colin, where on Klaus's person did I sense this orb of weird necrotic bullshit?
It's in his palm, innit?
Well, you sensed
I
it on
think it
his
was the
arm.
back of his hand or his palm.
Also, Klaus, where are you holding the other eye that you got, that you haven't used?
His left testicle.
Backpack.
He bit his left.
I mean, it's
nut on
probably
it.
in like his backpack or something.
That's what he said.
Well, he's busy tying that guy up and he's distracted. Can I yoink it out?
You can make a sleight of hand versus his perception.
It'll yoink his left nut.
I certainly can try.
I'm gonna whisper my roll to the DM.
I don't know if they
Yeah,
bags or what. Searching nigga down, grabbing his nuts.
Yeah. See this perception,
You
Klaus.
can't just go
Some bitch.
around grabbing people's nuts.
Give your balls a tug, tit fucker.
I see Klaus's perception is very, very good.
Yeah, what is it, Klaus?
Well, my perception roll is 24. What was your sleight of hand?
Man, I was gonna use the divination roll. It's not good enough. Well, if he's preoccupied, I don't even care about sleight of hand at this point. I'll roll anyway, but I'm gonna just try to get it. Oh yeah, there's no way.
Oh boy. In all the commotion, you hope to reach in and get the orb against that you sense, reaching into the backpack of Klaus. But Klaus, you see Aruna's hand stray to your backpack, and it sort of slowly lifts up the sort of buckle on it, and then lifts the top of it just slightly as she tries to ease her hand in.
I don't even break stride as I'm tying the guy. I'm just like, you don't want to touch that. You don't want anything to do with that.
Runa might not, but Tommy does.
Okay, so
I was about to say, like, then why do you got it?
original plan has failed.
Back plan.
The original plan has failed. Can I like accidentally step on Klaus's zombie arm? I don't know it's a zombie arm, but I just want to see if I like try to hurt him, if it actually hurts, or if the arm's like fucked up and dead.
Are you like kicking him in the arm?
No, just like, oh no! Ah!
I'm using my hand.
I don't know, or I'll stab him in the hand with a fork. I don't care.
Do you bleed?
Tell me something.
All right. Sure, why not? Make a Make an attack roll against Klaus.
Bring it on.
Can I just, Colin? Can I fail it anyways? Can I say? You
Sure, technically you can. What did you
Let's
do?
do it.
Do you kick it or you stab it with a fork?
I'm just gonna stab with a fork.
Klaus, you feel nothing.
Man, Venta rolled.
It doesn't hurt.
some weird shit.
Do I take damage though?
You do take damage, but
I mean, it's a fork.
it's an improvised weapon. It deals a D4 plus strength damage. So
Oh yeah, my strength
So
that
it
I
probably
don't
does
have.
0.
D4, 4. Thank you.
all right, it tears
What's your
into
strength?
you, and yet you don't register the pain. That being said, you want to make it seem like you register the pain.
That's
Oh,
pretty good.
Oh.
Well, it depends. Does he notice
Absolutely.
that he's been
That is
down?
a deception versus
That was a
insight check, or a deception or a performance
Oh.
versus insight.
Well, I rolled deception pretty damn low.
Well, this
Let's
could
see
be
it.
bad for you unless I roll a 1 again. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're fucked.
Take the portent.
Whenever you stab him in the arm, there is a pause as
Do it behind.
you look at it and he does not react. And then all of a sudden he reacts violently as he yanks his arm away, but it seems a little bit too choreographed. A little bit too like he's trying to seem like it hurt as he clutches at the arm that you stuck with the fork. You
He's a
get the
fucking
feeling
European football
that
player.
it's
Do that?
you get the feeling that that's not the entirety of the truth.
I don't like do a real deception. I'm just gonna be like, shit, I missed the guy, and I pull the fork out.
But oh boy, Klaus, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god, I'm gonna explode.
Wisdom save.
Meanwhile, Blue's sipping tea.
Yup.
Okay.
18.
As soon as that damage happens to your arm, feel a call.
I'm just saying, things seem under
You feel
control.
something, you feel the call of the eye both on your arm and in your backpack. As it says, "Take me." But you resist it, but it's getting
Says what?
harder. Take me.
Oh, take me.
Oh, okay.
But it's getting harder and harder to resist.
okay. I just got kicked out of Foundry. That's cool.
Harder and harder to resist, Klaus.
Beaver is dealing with the kitten.
Yep.
Anyway,
it's gonna happen in the capital. I know it's gonna happen in the capital.
well, anyway, that's weird. The cat is a guy, and
Boy,
Hello?
a whole bunch just happened here. I was not expecting to happen.
okay.
Did I?
Says,
I guess I was.
says Alec Cole or
I guess
you
I
guys
was
got
laying.
that?
I guess I was laying the cat on a little bit thick.
A little bit.
yeah. So there's
Um,
no
but
Alec Cole or Ida.
I felt
here,
like
right?
I
It's
felt
just
like I
me.
had to make people realize that the cat was weird.
Yeah.
Is Alec Cool and Ito here? I don't know. Are they?
No. I'm not.
Ito is wooing the Dragonborn lady.
Okay.
And Zara is
Okay, I was just making
wooing
sure.
everything in sight.
The cat transforms into a monk of the Onyx Serpent in the doorway as everybody pile drives on him, trying to hold him in place as he's trying to scramble away. He is. I'm just gonna give a. I'm gonna make him have a general acrobatics check, and everyone trying to grab him can try to grapple him.
Okay.
All right, he got a 20
Oh shit.
on his
How far away
acrobatics.
is the doorway?
How far from the doorway? He's in the doorway. He collapsed in the
Well,
doorway.
How far am I from the doorway?
Enough that you can cover the distance and get to him.
Alright.
Damn.
His acrobatics, surprisingly, pretty damn good.
What a sequence of events.
Use the divination. It's the only way.
You do have access to a 17.
I mean,
Jesus.
if I tied, it wouldn't do anything though, would it?
That's what I tell him.
If you tie, it might trip him up, but he would not be grappled.
Okay.
Where's
I mean,
Alacool's
I could
forearm?
use
Trying
it.
to get away. Oh,
I can
Go
use
ahead.
it to tie. But if anybody else has a roll they can make, I'd say go ahead and do that with Red. 14.
Oh, wait, I have to roll. Oh shit! Oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
Klaus. This dude
What?
evades everybody. He slips between the fingers and the arms of Runa and Reed, yourself, and as he staggers out into the darkened streets, the two massive arms wrapped around him, as Gen crits his athletics check
Again,
and
always there to
wraps
save
his
us.
arms around him and drags him back in. He says, "You're not going anywhere." With a fucking crit, Gen drags him backwards.
God damn, imagine being grapple check crit by a fucking ancient silver dragon.
Well, technically he is a human right now, but he's a pretty strong human.
A depressed ancient silver dragon.
Reed, you were extreme help there. I praise everything you do. You are a monk among monks.
You all seem to have it, and you know.
I
I
thought you were
figured
supposed to be evil to some shit.
Yeah, isn't this like up
Besides,
your
if
alley? Like,
anything went wrong, I would
Please
say-
don't kill me! As the Onyx monk throws himself, or the Onyx Serpent monk throws himself down, like supplicating now that he's surrounded, having been dragged inwards. The door slams as Siegfried closes it and stands blocking the doorway. Please don't kill me!
Wasn't there like
I was just doing as ordered! Was there what?
Wasn't there like people in this bar?
Yes, there were, and they all look on, shocked. And then they actually look on, and they shrug, and go back to eating.
So
the Reed
common
method.
occurrence here. Well, Reed's ears are gonna perk up. At I'm sorry. What was it that he said again?
Please don't kill me!
He said something after that.
Please don't
Dang,
kill
I was
me!
told.
I'll do anything!
Shit.
It wasn't my fault! There was an
Oh, I
avalanche!
was following
There was a
orders.
sea that rose up over the slopes! It was a snowstorm! I didn't have a choice! I had to turn into a cat!
Christ.
It was
I'll
an
be like,
accident!
Klaus, and I'll be like, Klaus, we'll get back to you in a second, and then I'll stab the guy with the same fork in his hand.
That's how you get AIDS.
Make an attack roll.
You ready for me to miss again? It's a little better.
His hand darts away.
The question is, what do you have to roll a Constitution saving throw if you
Ever
got
since
stabbed?
Aruna tried to punch her dad in the face, it's just been downhill for Tommy.
You don't.
I'm not really a melee-based character.
He does manage to yank his hand away. Just, don't do that! I'm not going to hurt you! I'm a good cat!
You mentioned someone's
Oh, I would
orders.
very much make a difference.
How about we start there and work our way back?
Oh man, look-
Orders? You said orders? I don't remember any orders. I'm just a cat! He starts licking his hand.
Well, you know, maybe we'll find a couple more forks then.
Huh, how do we know Aruna didn't just true polymorph this cat into a person?
Oh my
That's what I
god.
get from Baba Yaga, you
the
bitch.
triple bluff.
Fucking
We're all being gaslit
got
right
him.
now.
I'm a cat!
Mr. Mephistopheles. Is that you?
And they all say, oh well, never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mephistopheles.
Hurry, check for the CGI butthole while we're investigating.
Oh god.
There's no CGI butthole
I'll
on
be
this
back.
screen.
Real or not?
I'm zooming
It's
in.
not-
I'm as zoomed in as I can on this picture. There's no butthole on this cat.
I'm sad.
Suspicious. Well, this is very much a Reed Klaus situation. Whenever Beaver
It does
gets
feel
back, I
like it. Oh my god. Klaus. It all comes to you. God.
Klaus ain't here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
All
all I'm
right.
saying.
That's what he was saying when he gets back.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Pause for a second.
Anybody else?
Klaus.
Do something.
It all comes to you as you look at this this pathetic Onyx Serpent monk. The time Bosco came into the inn, a taste of pride and blood. The time that the attack happened. It all lines up.
So it's been years the whole time, then. All these years, I've been trying to find, I'm responsible.
It's not my fault. I didn't do anything. I was just doing as ordered.
I'm gonna stab him with a fork.
All right.
We got plenty.
Make an attack roll with advantage.
There's a need keeper somewhere just handing out forks.
I assume none of them are silvered because that wouldn't be too good.
Back scratchers! Get your back scratchers here!
It's a improvised weapon.
Yeah.
14.
Alright. It just manages to pierce into his hand as he tries to dart away. He goes, ah!
I was talking. You won't do that again. I'm going to leave you here with my friend Sigmund. I'm going to find out just how much you know. I'm going to leave everything up to his discretion.
He sort of
So you're
says,
going to be...
well, we do have a place that we can take him. Maybe he'll want to talk whenever he gets there.
Make sure you take good care of him. And I'm going to put a hand on Sigmund's shoulder. I'm going to whisper to him. And frankly, I don't care if he comes back drained.
You.
He nods his head and he says, I have just a place for him.
The Scrape and Lick dungeon.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
it's like the scene from Euro Trip. Did you say moving Josh's the other day?
He,
You ever had
yeah.
a vampire drag his fangs across your skin?
Siegfried grabs him and lifts him up. And he drags him down the hallway to that little cupboard that you first went to, that you know descends down into the basement, or into the sewers below, where the actual sort of headquarters of the Bloodstone Brotherhood is, and he disappears down it, shutting the door behind him.
Watch a man die.
You basically watched a man get dragged probably to his death.
Little black bag. Just to spice up the afternoon.
And then, after about 5 minutes, everything's back to normal within the inn.
Oh. I thought the guy was gonna come back up.
People are just acting like nothing happened, or they didn't see anything. The barmaids go back to their service. People sit down, and there's a couple mutters of, just fucking see that shit? Yeah, I did. And they just shrug. It's not their place to ask questions. You all sort of sit back down. And Gen joins you. Actually, no. Klaus, Gen comes to you and says, "You wanna go for a walk?"
Oh, sure. Let's get out of this whispering hellhole.
Oh my god, is it love?
Is it love? Is it love? Is it love?
Is this love
I don't
that I'm feeling? Is that Klaus on the ceiling?
What?
Klaus, you and Gen walk out with a taste of pride and blood into the darkened streets, while the rest of the party gets to convene over what they've learned and what they want to do next.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Rest of the party.
Yep, y'all do that while I clean up the box. Correct.
Oh, I thought Klaus was gonna get dragged to another room. I was excited.
Rest of the party. What are you doing?
I imagine I head back now.
I just looked at OBS. Apparently I'm streaming, although I don't think I've entered any streaming information.
We're now live
Well, you
on
might be
Chatterbait.
Well, no, 'cause you're always recording.
I am definitely recording, but it also says I'm live.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I'm gonna assume it's just saying that because I have not actually entered any streaming information.
Live from North Carolina. It's Saturday night.
I kill myself.
No,
Holy fuck, you are actually.
Did I
you
just?
got your Twitch going?
is my Twitch actually going?
Yes.
Oops.
It's been going for about 35 minutes.
Oops.
Do we have any,
How many viewers do we have? Have we breached TOS?
That's okay. Luckily, nobody would ever wander across this because it's not tagged for D&D or anything, so it's just a random thing.
Is it tagged for a bunch of fucking retards trying to change a light bulb?
Yeah, I
Back
don't know
for a hot
what
tub stream.
category you're under, but your title says you're testing Terraria.
Holy shit. I made a pretty big boo-boo, but that's okay.
Everything's fine.
Oh shit. If it's this easy to stream it, I'll just fucking stream it from now on. Nobody's gotta fucking see this shit. Don't be salty that you're a little baby back
Well,
bitch.
Dude, you've got 2 viewers. One of them's me.
Don't be
Who
mad
else
that you're a
looked up?
don't be mad that you're a baby back bitch. Don't be mad that you're a baby back bitch.
Christ. So we're reconvening, right? Get back on topic here.
Well, what topic? Where are we?
You've come back to the inn to hang out with us because we're the bar. Because we need to figure out what the fuck we're doing.
I was gonna let everyone know that I apparently now have lodging in the I don't what is the building called?
You have lodging in the house.
Yeah.
You've got access to both lodging in the main central palace as well as lodging within the inn.
Yeah, me and Ito got the Gen treatment already, and we kind of have space in the ambassador's quarters also.
Hell yeah. I let everyone know I'm an ambassador now.
Man, I'd really like to celebrate your accomplishment of fresh new ambassador. But you weren't here when I just stabbed Klaus in the fucking hand, and then he pretended that he hurt, if that makes any sense.
No, I understand. I told Gin that he was acting a little funny. So
Okay.
I imagine was Gin here, by the
Gen
way?
walked out
Gen
with Klaus.
Gen just went on a walk with Klaus, probably a romantic moonlit stroll within the city of
I did
Weissenberg.
more ask that just to I probably wasn't here when he walked out, correct?
Probably you might have passed him on the way in. As Klaus,
Well.
it's not like they're walking out hand in hand because one of Klaus's hands is rotting, but
Yeah.
Well, if anyone really cares about Klaus too terribly much, you might want to make sure he's gonna be okay.
Well, the main concern is we're planning on deep diving into a necromancer's vault, where we know for a fact he pretty
I'm
much
sorry?
went crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I
it was
forgot.
Necromancer's vault. It was the necromancer's key.
To
It is a key to a vault within the mint, which we've already
Yes.
established.
it is a key to a vault within the Iron Mint, which is the large centralized bank within the capital.
Okay,
Well-
so the growing concern is
If you want, you can make a history check on the Iron Mint. Ito would have advantage on this.
Ito is not present, I don't think. Is he?
If Ito wants to show up, he can, but if not,
reconvening.
but I'm
well,
trying to pull everybody together.
Okay. Then
It's gonna be official
Oh.
ambassador business then, because I will be going.
okay. So what I'm trying to get across here is that we've already dealt with one shit necromancer involving whatever the fuck is going on with Klaus. who's to say he's not one step off from the same type of madness? And if we show him a limitless research vault of possibly necromantic bullshit that he won't, you know. I mean, yeah, Reed, isn't this like against your principles of religion and stuff that we have necromancy bullshit just floating around? Yeah.
It is not against. It's not against mine, but
Necromancy bullshit.
Oh,
What do you
oh,
mean?
so you didn't notice the stabbing in the arm and him going, ow, ow, and pretending it hurt? Because when I found out the cat, when I found out the cat was magic, he also has a gigantic glowing thing in his arm that is necromancy and a, I don't know, orb or something in his bag.
Well, perhaps this is something we should actually talk with Klaus about.
Well, if we can.
I think Gin
Yeah,
is
he
talking
gave us
to
a
him about
reason
it.
To doubt him.
Wait.
Look, right now, it's worrying about it's irrelevant until Klaus gets back. But
Yeah.
I do imagine from what Gen seemed very hurried to come and speak to Klaus, so I imagine that is probably something to do with his affliction.
Well, just putting the concern out there that,
I trust him enough for him to be there, but
yeah,
not
I'm
enough
just-
for him to be alone there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Trust me, if it's magically inclined, it's pretty easy to fall into it. And if you recall, he kind of used whatever's in him already to, what was it, peer into someone's mind?
You hear the faint sound of a scream that echoes from below you.
Reed actually gets a
well.
little bit tense hearing that.
Yeah, I was about to ask, you kind of just let them drag a monk fellow off to his death, and you're just kind of sitting there drinking tea.
So, would anyone like to explain whatever that was?
Oh, the assholes we ran into when you first picked me up. Apparently the fat-ass cat that's been rubbing everyone's legs is a spy.
I dislike cats.
Awkward silence.
Ito mentions that he has an inn to get some money.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
Ito found a way to make a lot of money.
Before I forget, Reed, before we go do another inevitably dangerous thing that may kill us, Fora went with the Hussars into the Underdark, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try to contact her in a little bit and see how they're getting on. Is there anything in particular you want to say to her?
Has everyone already spoken again about what had happened with Ertzig after the fact, or is that information that technically out?
Anybody actually? We've been a little busy talking about more current events.
So I let everyone know I spoke again about Ertzig. About 10% of the Hussars survived and escaped, and the people that went into the Underdark got there, I suppose, as safely as possible. But they haven't heard anything back from them yet. And then Adelindra is on her way here with whatever force she has. And according to Gen, she is due for a promotion to be the general of the entire army, and not just the Hussars.
Well, shit.
Oh, snap.
But if we have the ability to get into contact with the people in the Underdark, that would probably be for the best.
Yeah, I was just the person that I think we've spent the most time with is Cora or the Kuatoa.
Gracie,
And,
you're killing me.
The Kuatoa.
Gracie!
I imagine the Kuatoa with his poor common wouldn't do well with 25 word limit.
If possible, we should also probably see how things are in Crit's Castle, just because, according to Gen, they haven't heard from them in a while, but that's not necessarily abnormal, but it's not to say that that couldn't be also because they're...
There is someone you can
under-
contact in Crit's Castle.
Well, you see,
They're-
unfortunately,
His name is Karakwa.
That's true.
Is he?
He did return back to Crit's Castle
Okay.
with Abigail. Once his stuff was done, he went back to Crit's Castle to be to help with Abigail and Dillamond and the evacuation, which is why it sure would be nice if Cody were here.
Okay. Well, there is... Okay, so anything particular for Cora or Karakwa? Let me know.
Just let her know that we are safe. Everything I wish
I-
to tell her, I'd prefer
I-
to tell her in person.
I would like to know what their status is in the Underdark and if they're able to get out. And then for Karakwa, I want to know if they're under siege or not and what the status is on their evacuation.
So what is your message?
I'm just taking. I'll send message to Cora first, and I will ask, or I will tell her, Reed and company are safe and sound in Capital. How fares your journey through the Underdark? Can you get out? Love Aruna winky face.
I almost feel like I want to go to a different channel for this.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Well, see you later, boys.
Bah.
What up, dude?
You send your message to Cora. And you ask her questions. And there is a moment before there's a response as she says, no supplies. Darkness and drow all around. Escape uncertain.
Fucking stellar.
Things are not going, as far as you can tell, things are not going super great in the Underdark.
Gotcha.
But she is alive. But it seems like they are low on supplies. They've run into problems, specifically drow. They are, like I said, they're alive, but it doesn't look like they're doing, as far as you can tell, super great.
Fair enough.
Understandable for the Underdark. I don't know how, but I don't know if Aruna would just go to Reed and be like, so your girlfriend is fucked.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
All right, but that's all the, unless you've got a message to send back to. Do you have another message you want to send while we're here?
Just gonna ask Karakwa if the evacuation of Kurt's Castle was going okay, and if they were under attack currently.
Evacuation. God, I fucking wish Cody were here. I'm gonna get back to you on this. I'm gonna send a message to Cody. Because I don't think I'll send you what his message back is, or try to.
Okay.
But it's not something that is time important.
Yeah, okay. Alright, well, I guess I'll go back to the other channel for now.
Okay.
That was quicker than expected.
I mean, it's a 25-word message.
They're communicating via Twitter.
Colin
Right?
literally couldn't have given him that much information in one message.
All right. Aruna, your messages are sent. Once more, there is a quiet cry from below you as the Bloodstone Brotherhood deals with this Onyx Serpent interloper.
Well, anyway, lads, I was thinking we could get into the bounty hunting business temporarily.
I don't know that that's so much a concern, so much as figuring out the vault situation.
Sure, we can obviously prioritize as needed, but I basically just got handed away to get 10,000 gold.
Yeah, I was there, if you don't
I know.
remember.
I was saying that to the group.
I have a donkey.
Well, I mean, 10,000 gold would be nice, I suppose.
You can almost see this dog.
Your camera is off.
It is on now.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on. There's a beer bottle and a cup in front of the camera.
Again.
All right.
I mean, I suppose we could get this done if it doesn't get in the way of our current quest.
I mean, you're not exactly spitting details out, so am I to
I
relay
was
the interest?
I was advised that we had shit we had to deal with first, so I was gonna wait.
Okay, well,
Alright then, let's deal with this first.
Yep.
Klaus. Shut up.
oh, baby.
Klaus. The moonlit skies rise above you. Much like the beautiful orange sunlight of an evening turns the walls of the city of Weissenberg to fire, the white marble glitters in the silvery moonlight above you. Every now and then you see the light of a tavern and the raucous laughter as you and again pass through the streets, but they're largely empty. There's an air of calmness about the city of Weissenberg that is pleasant compared to all the sort of hectic nature of the past few months. The cramped nature of the airship, the terror within the city of Ertzig, and the two of you sort of walk calmly down the streets for a while, quietly. But eventually Gen says, I heard that you're favoring your arm.
Yes, it's been an interesting few weeks. So when we were in, what was it called? Hang on a second. I know it's in my notes. Oh no, it's Primrose. I remember. When we were in Primrose, we were fighting some moon cultists, and oh yeah, Tommy. We were fighting moon cultists, and one of them drew me to use the eye. I don't know what overcame me, but I felt a sudden urge to just press it against her, and it killed her. And since then, I've been seeing her in my dreams being lit up in a brazier.
The eyes of Victor are powerful magical artifacts. Things that are not to be dallied with. Oh my god, that baby's taking a bath.
Poop time.
Poop in the bath time.
Haven't played Chocolate Submarine.
Oh,
I don't, I wish I could say that I knew exactly what that eye was doing to you, but I don't. Even I don't know for sure. But I imagine, from what I've heard, it's calling to the other eye.
Yes. I'm a little apprehensive, but the draw is very strong.
I can imagine.
I mean, think of all the good I could do with this power.
But think of all the bad it could do to you by taking it. Those are evil items.
It could be directed solely at evil people.
He sort of clutches at your arm and says, "You see what it's doing to you? I can see it. I can smell it. You are..."
As he's holding it up, I'm gonna like look into it.
Your arm is still bound, but he sort of unwraps it slightly and says, "You're rotting like a corpse. From the eye outward. It's turning you into a corpse. And it's only gonna get worse. And as it spreads, the allure's only gonna get worse and worse. These are powerful magical artifacts. But it's not worth your life."
What is my life worth when compared to all of the evils that are going on in this world? I mean, with this, I could destroy Bismarck, I could destroy Tuchescent, or even Ursula. I mean,
your entire species.
He
Let's go.
He clutches both of your hands and says, "Your life is worth no more or no less than theirs." Do I have any romantic music?
Is Gen trying to seduce Klaus?
I do.
Max.
Someone put on Careless Whisper.
Max is playing royalty-free romance music.
All right, Max,
Talk about how royal-
turn it off.
It came free with the soundboard.
Turn it off, Max. All right. Your life is worth no more, no less than anyone else's. You can still do good without these things.
maybe. I mean, how do you even go about getting rid of something like this?
I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I did. And he just kind of holds both of your hands and sort of shakes his head. Gen doesn't really know for sure. It would be some sort of powerful magic, no doubt, or powerful item to draw this away from you. I don't know what it is. I guess I could look into it, but it might be a while. It's not the type of thing I've really studied in depth, honestly. I was never much of a magic user myself. I do have magics, but by dragon kind, I would be something of a novice in that regard.
As we know, Dragon is a master tactician. It's not like you've done nothing with the time that you spent not studying magic.
he sort of pauses for a moment.
I mean, this whole empire would fall apart without you.
I've only returned as an advisor recently. I spent God knows how many years as a hermit in the mountains in the Silver Dragon Monastery. It wouldn't fall apart without me. But I hope I can do some good in it. There is somebody, though. Somebody. I've lived a long time, Klaus. I have met many people. And of all the people that I've met, the wisest and the most well-versed in the ways of magic is the gold dragon Sold Sanctus. But his answers, they always have a price. But if there's anybody that can answer to you exactly what's going on with your hand and with your arm and what to do about it, it's him.
I'll seek him out. But in the meantime, I can't believe I'm doing this. Klaus is going to take off the backpack and he's just going to open it up and he's going to just set it on the ground and close his eyes. He's going to like stand up away from the bag, just going to set it down on the ground open and just close his eyes and just stand there.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm going to portent that one.
Okay. Someone has to use the 17. Is it just a straight
I support
17?
this decision.
Yeah. Straight 17.
With the-
but goddammit, I gave you guys this person. Use it!
With the backpack open, you look down and you see the glowing eye of Vecna before you. And it calls to you. Your arm, it was your right arm that has the bad, is the right arm the bad arm?
Yeah, it has the eye.
Your left arm reaches out for it. Unable to resist, even with the 17 at 17, the DC has gotten.
Damn, still not bad.
The DC has gotten.
It's gotten higher.
High. The DC has been getting higher and higher. It's getting harder and harder to resist. And you reach out. You clutch at it.
Didn't do anything?
Gen sees you reach down and grab it. And he immediately he says, "No!" He's going to try to make a grapple check. Give me an acrobatics, I guess it's an acrobatics check too. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, it's a 10.
Gen rolled a 1.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Truly, this is a
Well,
great
you see,
session,
the world
guys.
had to counteract that crit he got earlier.
He's unable to stop you. As you take the second eye of Vecna into the other arm. And almost immediately, much like the first one, it fuses with you. It digs into the palm of your other hand. And you can feel the rot begin to spread faster throughout your whole body. But you, at the same time, you feel your power grow.
I'm gonna go ahead and click that attunement button.
The eyes of Vecna only have one single attunement, so The more Eyes of Vecna you get, the more it only takes up one single attunement slot. That being said, it's a big boost to your power, and at the same time, an incredible detriment to you.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I just took fucking like 11 hit points off my max total.
Gen sort of takes a step back, aghast.
It's now or never now.
It's gonna eat you alive.
Not if it eats Vecna first.
And Gen is going to... Gen takes both of your hands in his, and he lifts them up, and he kisses the fingers of the hand that you've just recently put this other Eye of Vecna in. And he says, I hope you know what you're doing.
If all else, I've always been good at figuring it out.
Alright. You have taken in the second Eye of Vecna. Would you like me do you want to keep that to yourself, or would you like me to read what to the rest of the party what that does?
I think he should keep it to himself.
I don't care.
You can give him the obvious one. There's one particular.
I'll let you know.
You are more rotten.
I'll let you tell them.
Yeah.
What you want to about that.
So here is, I'll give you the last paragraph. You gain the character flaw, I no longer see beauty. Everything I view seems to wither and die before me over and over again. My constitution score decreases by 2. I have a look and smell that makes other people uneasy. I have disadvantage on persuasion checks, and that when I'm the target of a healing spell, I only receive half of that.
That being said,
Those are the party relevant.
And as you look around, Gen is in front of you. He looks the same. He's a very attractive man. But as you sort of see a drunk stagger out of nearby bar, you can see his skin seems to sink and become sallow, and then rots from his body, revealing a skeleton underneath. And then it appears normal. And it continues this cycle over and over again, where everybody who is mortal, you see them rot and die. Only the long-lived races, dragons, elves, and that sort of thing, seem to not just rot in front of you. It's a disturbing thing to see. But Gen is still beautiful.
How fast is the active rotting that I'm witnessing? Is it like slow decay kind of thing, or is it like everyone's just rapidly deteriorating?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Everybody is
exactly,
Raiders of the
exactly.
Lost Arking and then resetting and then doing it
Sorry.
over and over again.
Last
Maybe over
Jesus Christ.
maybe over a couple of minutes.
That's
Fucking-
fucking horrifying.
Fucking dislike.
But Gen
Damn it,
seems
why couldn't I have gotten the eye?
Gen seems normal.
It's just this over and over again.
Also, Siegfried seems normal because he's also not rotting. He's also not dying. That being said, you do get some pretty significant benefits out of it. But Gen is going to clutch your hands, holding them as you tune out the world. Tune out the sight of the nearby buildings, turning to decrepency, shingles falling off. The walls crumbling. The people rotting, turning to ash, and then returning to normal. As you eyes focus on Gen, the silver dragon who has come to not love you, but to become attached to you. And I suppose we can end it right there. It's a pretty big thing to end on. You actually taking on the second eye of Vecna.
Yep.
Oh, is that where we're stopping today?
If you want, you can discuss what you would like to do next time, but it is 7:30.
Yeah.
Alright.
I like to end before 8 o'clock. It has
Next
been
time.
it has been 3 hours of game time, but we can play for a little bit longer. We're not going to get to the vault.
No, I
So
think we
unfortunately,
should
I'm
just
not
all
gonna be
agree.
here for next week.
Yeah. I think we should just make sure we can go to
The
the,
vo-
vault
the
freely.
the vault
We know again.
The vault is in fact like an actual dungeon, so that is like a whole session, so
Mm-hmm.
or more. But final preparations for the vault. The
I just want.
I mean, first of all, I understand that we have a key, but are we allowed to be
Yeah,
in there?
that's what I was gonna say. We can literally just go ask Gen when he gets back.
You may-
because if
Okay.
all right.
Because going through a dungeon is one thing. Going through a dungeon and then getting the shit kicked out of us by Imperial guards is another issue.
Well, that's okay. We won't end it there. Gen and Klaus return. Ooh. Oh no. Gen is Klaus, how would you react to Gen holding your hand?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Oh my god.
Love trying between a gay dragon and a gay vampire and a gay zombie.
hell yeah.
Man, this is
Klaus-
the weirdest version of Gay Twilight I've ever seen.
This is Klaus, roll an insight check.
I did not order my Dungeons and Dragons a la gay. What the fuck is this?
Boy, you should have been here for a while.
12.
By the time you return, Siegfried has returned, and as you walk hand in hand with Gen the Silver Dragon, you can see Siegfried kind of furrows his brows at your entrance, but doesn't say anything about it. As you return back to the group. But the more important is, Klaus, you now have a large orb in your hand. Do you bandage it and cover it much like the other arm, or the right
Oh, hell
arm,
yeah.
or... Okay.
Oh, yeah, this thing's completely covered.
Everybody roll a perception check.
To notice the bulge.
Yes.
I just want to
I
clarify.
mean, it was a gem.
It's like
Damn, Venta ain't seen shit.
19.
Perception. 21.
14.
Klaus, are you trying to hide it?
I mean, poorly, but yes.
Roll a deception check with disadvantage. Everyone that got higher than a 13, you see that Klaus is no longer, it's not just his right arm that is bandaged, his left arm has been bandaged as well.
Why am I concerned about bulge gif?
There's a bulge in the bandage. It's a big bulge. The type of
Oh,
bulge
Jesus
that draws
Christ.
your eye. The type of bulge that bounces in sweatpants.
Christ.
Type of bulge, you need to wear the shirt that says.
I didn't
"Hey,
realize
eyes
that
rough
Colin was just Mr. Oh God, Christ, what's his name from South Park?
Garrison?
Mr. Garrison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
It was long and
Now,
hard.
now
But-
is the
here."
time.
Actually, yeah, he is. Okay.
Cla-
Sorry, I was just making sure. Yeah, he is Mr. Garrison again now.
Klaus and Gin return, hand in hand, but Klaus's left hand is bandaged now, much like his right hand. Even so, Klaus seems to sort of brush it off as if nothing has happened, and Gen does as well. At this point, it's midnight. The 15th of June, Tuesday. What would you like to do? You know, this is Tuesday. This is the day that Zara needs to do the thing for Klaus, with the taking the role of a guard and stealing his key or something like that. Or no, this is taking the role of a prostitute and stealing a guard's key. This is the day that you may very well go into the Iron Mint and finally figure out what it was that the Redeemer wanted you to see. Discuss.
I feel like Zara's thing needs to probably happen the week after next.
That would happen late at night, so probably.
I mean, I can make some suggestions, but honestly, it's more you guys because, like I said, I'm not here next.
I mean, do we want to skip next week so that
What
Luke
is
can
next
join
week?
us in the super important?
I don't want to skip next week.
Okay.
I would like to keep things rolling. I would like to keep the story going forward.
Okay.
I mean, I think we need to just talk to Gen and pretty much just ask permission. 'Cause
Besides
he knows-
besides the fact that we have played days where other people aren't here.
That's true.
Well, Gen knows we have the key, so it wouldn't hurt to just straight up ask him for permission, because that's the only thing stopping us, really.
I feel like Gen's a little preoccupied at the moment, but let's go for it.
Well, Gen literally walked back to us, like last night.
Yeah,
so
but he's
I'm sure
holding
he'll-
hands. He's holding hands with
True.
Klaus.
Yeah, I'm definitely not giving
Klaus's
Klaus any funny
twink
looks.
vampire boyfriend is there throwing jealous eyes.
Fantastic.
Colin,
Okay.
be honest. Is that a sentence you thought you would say today?
I've never expected this play, and I'm glad I never was successful on Twitch or YouTube, so people cannot see this.
Well. Alright, so we gotta get Joseph Smoke and Ella Cool. Are we going into the vault this time?
Yeah.
Hey, baby! Hold on a second.
Brace
Hi,
for
baby! Hi,
It's
baby!
the baby.
Look at you wearing your Christmas clothes! Come here!
Christmas clothes? It's July.
It's always fucking Christmas when you're a baby.
I'm wearing... Shut
I
up.
like that Colin is censored by the beer bottle.
Look, I'm wearing
We
Christmas
can't. There we
baby.
go.
Hold on, let's see. Can we? Here we go. Wow. I'm wearing Christmas baby clothes.
Stop.
I'm wearing Christmas baby clothes. And look, see, he's wearing Christmas baby clothes. Hey, buddy. Did you take a bath? That's right, buddy. Shut up. Bye bye. Say keyboard. Keyboard? You just said DVD. What are you doing, baby? What are you doing, baby? I'm a baby. I'm a baby. What are you doing in here, huh? Wanna go play?
About to go play some banjo.
Go play? Come on. Let's go play, baby. Ah. There you go, young man. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Say hi, puppy. What is that? Come on.
Oh my god, Gracie's having
Come on, buddy.
a cow.
Hey, buddy.
I'm
Gracie's
wearing
upset about Klaus's
dogs
predicament.
here.
Come on, buddy.
But boy, I can.
Bam, that's right, bam.
Man, I can't wait to have to magically rip Klaus's arms off of his body to save him from becoming a spooky zombie
I
man.
was thinking that today was the day where Icho and Klaus fought to the death. but I was wrong. I got
Nope. Yeah.
gay necrophilia instead.
Yeah.
And Max just left.
Just
I
think,
swear-
maybe
I
sometime
swear
you'll
to
get.
God.
Yeah, let me tell you, I really love that Cloud Strife is in the game.
I can't wait for no one to interact with
He
Max's
fucking-
new character.
He said that he was gonna do that yesterday. I was like, Max, please don't.
I don't
He was gonna do
understand.
what yesterday?
He made a brand new character after Klaus's
Oh, yeah.
character finally started getting fucking shit.
Oh, please don't play Cloud.
It's like he doesn't want to play.
And then he.
We got what, like 3 sentences out of him today?
We got a fair bit out of him.
I mean, he was literally
whole
taking
thing
a
with-
nap, so
Did a whole thing with Gen, but
I'll tell you what, my quest now is to get everyone to just air their dirty laundry. You got anything you're hiding, Reed? You got any fucking shit you're hiding? I'm gonna find out.
Reed is actually a cat.
Oh, fuck.
It's a thing that monks do.
No, he's actually a true polymorph Tarask.
Are cats.
If you cast a spell magic on Reed, he turns into a fucking Tarask. and
All right.
Destroys the whole campaign.
Yeah, dude. I basically went
Alright.
to the Feywild and now I give
Oh.
no shits.
At the start of next session,
Yeah.
like, to be fair, Cloud's
That is right.
not in the group. So are you just gonna hold up all of the notes and backstory that you have for Max's character and just rip them on camera?
No, the notes for him are important for the vault. That's it. That's the big
Okay.
thing.
We're just so we're clear, we're asking Gen permission to go to the vault, talking to him about it, and then we're going to the vault next time. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, I'm gonna go because Rick wanted to go get cookout so I can get some dinner.
Oh shit. Okay. He again says, of course we can. The vault is something you can go to, and if I suppose there are many different vaults, but if you've got the right key, they can send you to the right vault.
oh, we certainly have the right key.
Yeah, I think between us, we're the only ones that know we have the key, Gen.
Well, I suppose that's settled then. It's not a matter for me to determine if you have permission or not, I'm afraid.
I just wanted to make sure that we're not going to get, our asses kicked by people wearing Imperial tabards as soon as we leave.
Well, they can take you to the vault key, but whatever's in the vault, that's up for you to figure out.
Cool.
Alright. And we will end it right there with you next week heading into the vault, as Klaus has made a sexy dragon friend once again. But we'll pick it up next time in the vault.